turtles, heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
Hey everybody, welcome to Things Are Getting Sketchy, another TMNT Takeover. Someone's got audio loop here. We'll get this taken care of. But I am going to hand this over to Rob tonight. I will be behind the scenes making things work a little smooth. But Rob is helping me co-host. And we'll just send it right over to him. Rob.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Saturday night of Things Are Getting Sketchy. It's Turtles night once again, and tonight we got some regulars and some returning greats. We got Mike Rooth.
Hey guys, what's going on?
We got Chris Vance.
How you doing?
We got Camillo. I always butcher your last name, man, but got Camillo, and we've got Thomas Day.
Hey, how you guys doing?
How you guys been? You know, I feel like I've talked to you guys more recently than this, but what are you guys working on tonight?
Well, I'm gonna do a Last Ronin piece, actually weirdly based off of an unused Sumerian sketch that I did for a cover for Big Country a couple years ago that just never got used, but the action of it was good and the layout of it was good, so I've just basically kind of aped my own idea and I'm drawing the Last Ronin here, but kind of not the full costume Last Ronin, kind of like a, you know, maybe something that fits in a little bit before that story.
Kind of like the auction you did today.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like without the full Ronin armor, but with all the weapons.
A little bit of a build-up, maybe a Lost Years kind of vibe stuff, you know?
For sure. And that's
Yeah.
That's the same red paper you used for Hellboy.
It's actually different red paper. This is this red. I wish I had bought more of that red board I had last time. It was wicked. This is Fabriano red paper. It's okay. It's not as vibrant, but it's still pretty red. I'm sure I'm coming across through the camera very blue, kind of cool colors, but it's actually a pretty hot red. And I'm just trying to figure out what the best ink to use, because sometimes ink will dry shiny on these red papers. They kind of sit on top. They don't absorb in like the way they do with white paper. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes.
For sure. What size is that you're working with?
That is going to be 11 by 17.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Vance? What are you drawing tonight?
I'm gonna do me like a classic Mikey. It's a bust really. It's a 9 by 12.
Oh, nice.
I have to figure out what I'm gonna do because I like the pose I sketched out, so I'm gonna use that.
Nice. And did we lose Camillo?
Yeah, we lost Camillo. I'm trying to get him back in.
All right, for sure. And Thomas, looks like
Yep.
you're working on Eastman First Turtle.
That's right. Yep.
Excellent.
Sweet.
I'm doing a couple of things tonight. I'm working on that, and I'm working on he's going to be a highly detailed turtle that I'm going to try to put some articulation into, you know, and make like a good size figure.
Right. Now, the one you're doing right now, is that the same size as the Laird sculpt?
Yeah.
you did a little
He'll
while
be
ago?
he'll be exactly the same size.
That's
And,
cool.
yeah, here's the original art. If that's based on.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure
cool, man.
everybody's
That very
seen that.
first turtle.
That's
Yeah.
rad as hell.
I
He's
like
an
how you
oldie.
have one of each. You know, you have the Laird in there, then you have the, you know, it would be a bigger piece, but like that first team picture,
Right.
you know,
That
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to make figures of all of those. You know, that one you're talking about with all four of them on the rooftop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to make a statue of that.
Yeah. Like I was looking at your store earlier. What would you say was your favorite piece to work on so far?
My favorite piece so far, it probably Clayface.
Okay.
That's so
Yeah.
rad.
That was a lot of fun. That one.
Yeah, for sure. What's the one you've produced the most of?
You know, it's funny. I don't know if you saw the check that I did from Weird Science.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
the one that's sitting on my shelf right now. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. People dig that. I didn't think most people would even remember that or know who he is. But I must have made 60 of those things.
I'm gonna
since
be
I
honest.
put it
It's
up
one
there.
of the few things I remember about that movie at this point.
Yeah. But I just sent one to Germany. Like who'd have thought?
That's cool.
There's a German guy that has a Chet figure on his shelf.
I mean, that's weird. And it looks like we got Camillo back. Camillo, what are you working on tonight?
Yeah. I've got a Baxter Stockman versus Donatello.
Oh, nice. And what size is that?
This is 11 by 17.
Oh, nice.
The real 11 by 17, not the dodgy Aussie version.
Are you going with the classic like cartoon Baxter or?
Yeah, looks
Oh,
a little,
it's a mixture of the classic cartoon and my own style.
Nice.
yeah, I'd say it's kind of got a Jeff Goldblum Fly vibe going on there.
Brundle Stockman. Yeah, I've noticed, but I've been seeing like all those Turtles Power Rangers pieces you did throughout March. Those were fire.
Those are nice.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say I mean, you did that big, the Mondo recreation and like some of the pieces like that, but like I have to say some of my favorite pieces that I see from you are those Through the Ages prints that you've done, where it's all the different styles, like from the beginning to like all the different movies and everything. Those are really cool. It shows like how those characters are different and the subtle differences, but it's still your style. Those are some really great pieces.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. You have a Patreon too, right, Camille? Did you start one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, just recently. I've been working on a comic, and all of my updates on the comic book are in there. So if anyone wants to check it out, I got like 3 or 4 different tiers to choose from.
Very cool, man.
Are you
Yeah, thanks.
are you doing the art and the writing in the book, or are you working with somebody?
Yeah, I've done the writing, pencils and inks, and I've got someone else coloring it.
Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Always interesting to hear about creator-owned content. You never know what people come up with. Can you talk about like a short synopsis, like what it's about, or?
Yeah. So it's actually, the comic is a book of short stories. So the aim of it was to be like make it like a portfolio piece, so I can draw a range of things. So I've got 3 short stories in there. One's a sci-fi story about a mutated axolotl. I don't know if anyone knows what axolotls are.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah.
They're cool little creatures.
Yeah, those are neat looking.
Yeah. And I got another story. It's a superhero story. It's about a hero called Captain Awesome. And the more people love him, the stronger he becomes. But as people forget him, he fades away and dies. And he finds out that if people fear him, he'll also be remembered and stay alive. So now he's got to make the choice whether he wants to be feared or he wants to be loved. If he wants to be a villain or a hero,
That's cool. That's a cool take on
There's
it.
the power of
the
social
last
media.
story is a horror story and a good story.
Apparently, exposure
that's-
does get you something. Immortality. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool, man. Interesting.
So yeah, and the last one is a horror book about Bigfoot.
Oh, nice. A horror book about Bigfoot. That's definitely gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Let's see.
Love Bigfoot.
Yes, John, that is me. He's like, "What's up, Rob? Is that you?" I'm like, "Yeah, once in a while."
Yeah, I let him know you're on screen, but I'm the one typing responses.
Yeah.
Just so you're like, wow, you're not even paying attention and you're responding. He's a keyboard ventriloquist.
Well, see, that was my agreement to co-host. Is like I've run too many boards while hosting in my life that I just don't want to do the technical stuff while I'm trying to talk to people.
That is what I call Saturday night. Thank you. I appreciate the love there.
Well, yeah, man, you run the show, you do everything, so I'm just the on-air talent. Yeah. What was I gonna say? But like Mike, you've been firing out sketch covers a lot lately, man. You did like 4 in the last week.
Yeah, more than not as many as I'd like to do, but more than I've been able to do recently. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of it is just procrastination stuff. I've come into a couple of whenever I come into kind of a challenging, daunting thing I have to draw and dodge or something like that. I sometimes need to just break away from the pages and do something different. And that's where a lot of those sketches come from. And it doesn't hurt to put them up for auction. That's give everyone a kind of a chance to get their hands on them and stuff. And yeah, they've been kind of fun. I also always like to try to promote the show where I can. So I had a couple of things are getting sketchy blanks on hand. So I wanted to do something on one of those because they're actually pretty nice to draw on. They're not too shabby. I'm stoked about the purple and red. That's going to be wicked.
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say, Stefan, you said that you're finalizing the print numbers for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, Monday the print. Yeah, so I was just giving a chance for anybody who wanted to get any more red or purple, buy any more red or purple covers. They could do it because Monday I got to give the final print run numbers.
Well, those of us who have been around since Volume 1, now we can get all the turtles done.
Yep. Oh, hey, and real quick. This is more for behind the camera because it's not going to be seen, but proof of life, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
the last 10. So that's it.
Nice. Yeah, I was like, wait a second. I still didn't have. I still have 2 blue, a handful of white. Mike did the 1 green. I've got 1 more green. Yeah, I can't wait to see what Sean Hill does with my super shredder on the purple. That's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I think I'm doing the I'm doing the was it the live draw one for Randy? I'm just not sure what character he wants yet. I have.
I got that info.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Well, there we go.
Yeah, he hasn't asked, and it's totally up to you, but he wants Sinestro. But if you're into it and willing, Sinestro versus Guy.
Sinestro versus Guy. Interesting. Yeah. And
you have to make sure Stefan doesn't steal it before it gets to Randy.
Yeah, it'll ship directly to Randy. Yeah.
Did he have a preference for the color of the cover? I guess just the white one. I would think.
I will look at the spreadsheet, but I do believe it is just the white one. Correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds like a doable thing.
Yeah,
I think Sinestro and Guy on a red one would be well, I mean, it would be an interesting monochromatic piece for sure.
Well, you just make Guy a Red Lantern at that point, and just
carve actually, yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah,
that's pretty much
yeah.
Michael Pena said that he wants the Hulk.
Of course,
yeah.
No, I mean like he being.
Are you serious?
Randy
Michael Pena wants the Hulk?
No, he's saying that Randy wants the Hulk.
Oh,
yeah, I realize if you don't see the text, it's out of context. Me just saying.
Well,
right.
Well, it's like last Coaster Night when he wanted a Maestro, and Randy's like, "No, he wants the Maestro from Seinfeld." And Nathan was like, "Oh, apparently he wants he thought he was dead serious."
Well, the weird thing was I had just watched that episode of Seinfeld literally like an hour before we went on the air, so that was just a weird coincidence that got brought up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
we brought it up because we were joking around with Jason, and Jason is obsessed with Seinfeld. And like because Nathan totally didn't understand the joke, I was like, no.
It was funny
we
because
can't."
I would have been blind on it too. I've watched maybe a handful of the first season when it was out, and that was it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
I was in the military at the time, and it just wasn't in my
Yeah.
purview for it. I just didn't make time.
Right. I mean, it's a lot of classic nostalgia.
Oh yeah, it's I didn't appreciate it for what it was. It was always on, like it was on forever, all the time. Like every time I flipped on the TV back when I had cable, it was always on somewhere. So I never really, my folks liked it. I never really got super into it. But now we've been rewatching them, and it's a lot of brilliant stuff was done on that show.
You get a lot more of the references now, you know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
It's just a neat time. It's a neat time trip through time now, because there's stuff that happens in that show that, well, for one, you couldn't get away with now.
Oh,
But there's
yeah.
also
lot of that.
just stuff that people wouldn't get. Like there's older references to landline issues and things like that were like cell phones. Like people have cell phones in this, but they're the giant, like poly dangerously sized, like toaster size.
The Zach Morris phone.
Zach Morris phone. There you go.
The Zach Morris phone. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's funny. Speaking of landlines, like I was setting up tonight, and I was about to, Stefan set me up, and I was about to go in, and the phone goes off, and I'm like, I forgot we had a landline connected down here because it's like buried behind some stuff.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was like, oh, I gotta take that off the hook and unplug it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
still have a landline. We still have an answering machine. It's odd.
Are you on AOL right now?
Dial up. It took me 45 minutes to log in.
Yeah, his Netscape's a little buggy right now.
I had to kill like 45 robots to do it. But it's cool. I got another stack of free hour discs over here.
Nice. Sitting right on top of your dot matrix printer.
I got them from Blockbuster.
That'll be the next coaster night. We'll draw on AOL discs.
Oh man.
What did you guys hear? Blockbuster's coming back?
Yep.
What? I heard that. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Wow, man.
fantastic.
My Blockbuster stock doubled this week. We're 2 cents now.
Like they did that TV show like one season with the guy from the Marvel universe, and I was all geeked about it because I worked at Blockbuster like 3 different times. It was cool for nostalgia, but it's weird that they're trying to bring it back. Like
The show didn't grab me. I tried to watch that show. I think Erica and I watched the first 2 episodes, and I like that actor, but everyone on the show was pretty good. I don't know. It just didn't grab me the way I hoped it would.
Wait, it was a documentary, or was it a show, like a sitcom?
It was a show. It was like almost like a Superstore kind of show. It had that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it was like a sitcom.
Totally missed it. I didn't even know that was a thing. Wow.
Yeah, it was just called Blockbuster. What is that actor's name? I can't remember his name. He played the
something Park, I think, right?
Jimmy Park? No, maybe
Something
Randall
Park.
Park.
Randall Park.
Oh yeah, from Agent whatever. I forget what agent he played. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Huh. No, I didn't even know it was a...
Speaking of agent shows, have you seen that Agent Elvis cartoon?
No.
I think it's on Hulu. It's hilarious.
Oh, really?
I mean, I know Stefan doesn't like much, but it's pretty funny.
I'm gonna say, first off, I would watch it for the name Agent Elvis. I'd give it a shot for that because I got a soft spot for anybody doing stupid Elvis impressions. But it's on Netflix, and I don't got Netflix. So.
Oh, is it Netflix? I thought it was Hulu. I don't know. I got so many streaming services. I don't know what's on what these days.
Yeah, that's why I punted Netflix. I just hadn't used it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when Netflix started, it was all about rewatching old stuff.
Yep.
And then they started pumping in original content, and then a million streaming services came out of that, and like, there's better original content on the other networks. So, like, Chris, Vance, did you finish watching Wu-Tang?
Yeah, man, I just finished that last night. That was nuts.
It was a great final episode. Yeah, there's some, That was interesting.
Is that another animated series?
No, it's a duck. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I was gonna bait and hook you that hard.
I would watch a Wu-Tang Clan animated series.
Fuck yeah, I'd be all over
kinda
And I
that.
know a lot of people who would watch it.
I would definitely watch the animated
Yeah.
Wu-Tang series for sure.
ODB
like
was
Boondock
basically
style?
a cartoon character anyway.
Exactly.
For sure.
Uh,
I mean,
was-
if they all use alter egos, and it's like a superhero show.
yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Just
That'd
it'd be like a Wu-Tang does Bionic 6 type thing.
Yeah.
That
They
would-
do a couple of episodes in there where it's like a little mini movie because you're like kind of inside their heads in some episodes, and it's
Oh,
really
yeah.
interesting to see how
It's
they
like
like do that stuff.
they do like the story behind their solo albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That-
Yeah, it
I
was-
like- I like
I'm
the
assuming the
movies,
story was for each one money.
Cream
I mean,
ruled everything around me.
I'm not saying boo about it. I'm just saying that would be the the logical reason. Oh wait, we're super hot as a group. If we did solo, we'd make more money. Yeah, let's do a solo.
Yeah, I
it's-
mean,
it's more about them, like, I guess, coming up with the concept for their individual ideas, or like how they're having trouble trying to figure out what they want to do, and they just kind of like go back into like what they like when they were kids, and just whatever's like on their mind, they figure
Yeah.
out like how they make how they want to make the album.
yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of kung fu movie references and stuff because it's pretty cool. That last one with Genius was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, the Liquid Swords episode. Yeah, that was
The
really
Liquid
cool.
Swords episode
Yeah.
was great. I like that.
That was great. What was I gonna say? Well, I'm talking to you, Chris. Your first coaster night was last week.
Yeah.
You enjoy the coaster nights?
Yeah, it was fun. I like when people just kind of throw out ideas and just kind of I get challenged a little bit about what to draw. Like I've never drawn Xenomorph Pony before.
Oh,
but
you're the one who got to do that.
that was fun, man. That was great.
That came out pretty awesome too.
It did,
Thank
man.
you. I like.
All the coasters
That
were
was the
really
last one I
strong,
did.
man.
Yeah. Coaster nights are fun because you just do a variety of different things.
I'll be honest, man. I almost decided just to open it up to coaster nights tonight for myself because and just do TMNT themed coasters all night because I was kind of stuck for an idea most of the day. I fixate on trying to come up with an idea, and I end up wasting a lot of time. I actually I had a very ambitious idea in mind this morning, but I couldn't get the layout to work. The reason being, I didn't want to do a big wraparound size scale piece, although I could have. I actually used one of my old unused Last Ronin concepts from issue 1 that we never even submitted because we were so happy with what we ended up going with that time. That I just let it sit on the shelf. But it actually, the back page was all sequential art of like the Ronin like climbing up the side of the building and then jumping and doing all these flips from building to building and then kind of landing, and then it kind of bleeds into a full like spread of just him standing looking over the city with all kinds of flying cars and shit going by. It was a really elaborate piece, and I'm actually glad we went the other way because it would have been a mother to draw. But yeah, I thought about doing that today, but it was just a little bit too outside my reach. So
Speaking of
down the road.
like unused stuff or concepts you didn't end up using, do you still have the concept art for that Armageddon game connector you were gonna do?
Oh man, no, I did get a couple of sketches down, but no, I really didn't have a picture of what the issues looked like, so I wanted to kind of have the concepts go fit with the story, but I didn't know enough about the story at the time. And kind of before anything even happened for issue 1, we ended up just kiboshing the whole thing because I got sick. So yeah, I didn't get very far, but I did have a concept for about 3 or 4 joining covers that just basically featured one of the turtles kind of as a main feature, and then I was just going to have stuff in the background that was going to interconnect elements like people fighting and different things happening, explosions and weapons going off and things like that. That would connect it all. But yeah, never got too far with it, unfortunately.
Right. All right, let's see here. Are you? Oh, okay. I thought you were just going straight to inks, Mike, at first.
No, I'm doing straight to well, not it's there's a bit of a sketch there, but it's I'm going with watercolor because I did a couple of test pieces here, and unfortunately the ink it probably can't show up on camera very well, but probably not. The ink little dabs here on this are shiny, and they don't they sit on top of the red paper really weird. But the watercolor seems to be nice and sort of matte. So I'm just going to go with watercolor until I don't have a choice, and then I'll probably go and do some line work with something like gouache or something that's very, very matte for the lines. Because I hate that shiny paper thing, and I found out the hard way a couple of times that using regular ink on this stuff can be a bad idea sometimes. Hard to photograph and even trickier to scan.
Is that because of the way the ink presents itself, or
yeah, basically whatever metallic or shellac type material is in the in the makeup of the ink, for whatever reason it won't absorb into the colored paper, or if it does, it leaves a remnant of something shiny on top that basically it catches the light and kind of shimmers. That little Spider-Man that I had going for auction today, I inked that with ink first, and then I went in with color, and the ink ended up being very shiny and almost luminous. So I had to kind of go over it again with black gouache, which is why the lines are a little bit heavy on that one. Just because I couldn't stand how shiny it looked when the light was hitting it, and I knew it would make it for weird scanning if I didn't do something. So
no, Bill, we haven't seen Randy yet.
What's that?
Bill, I can never pronounce his last name either.
Oh, Bill, yeah.
He was like, "Where's Randy? Fuck that dude."
Oh, it's easy to pronounce, man. It's just the A is silent.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I do bad enough with the changing of my speech now. I'm just not going to attempt any words that I don't believe I can pronounce. Say it as it sounds does not work anymore. Okay.
No, Stephen King just dropped in, but he bounced. He just wanted to see what inanimate object Mike was inky with today.
Oh,
it's just a brush today. He went
just a brush,
plain
just
Jane.
like a regular plebeian brush. Nothing fancy. Nothing special.
I feel
about
like
it.
one day all you're gonna have is just paper and ink, and you're just gonna have to roll up a piece of paper, or you're gonna use or it's just you're gonna have an entire month where you're just drawing with a quill.
I think it would be cool to do an episode that was all just found objects, but maybe down the road, maybe for the Arbor Day episode, I'll do that. That would be, a good way to.
Yeah, I was just about to say Arbor Day would be the perfect day for that.
That would be the perfect day for it. So that's what I'll do.
Arbor Day, everyone has to draw with sticks. So y'all better step your game up.
Yeah, that's going to be a good night.
Speaking of episodes, Mike, you and I were chatting the other day. You wanted to, you were talking about maybe doing a more instructional.
Yeah, I actually, Erica and I have had some ideas around this show. I know Stefan and I have talked about it a lot too, for a long time now, about doing a more instructional kind of art show. I'd thought about doing one that would maybe just be an hour or two some point in the week, where I would just actually use it as a way to kind of hold myself accountable on commissions and things, because my issue is I have I'm very lucky to have people who are waiting for commissions from me, but I hate making anybody wait. But the reality is people are still going to be waiting for a little while because I'm still working on my book and things aren't going as quickly as I would like, but it's just the nature of the business sometimes. And so I wanted to do a show that would really be more about well, really, and the idea we had. I don't know if I should spoil the name because the name is awesome. I don't want to know if I want to give the name of the show up.
Oh,
yet.
don't give that away yet.
I'll wait, but the idea of the show would basically be kind of like me doing commissions or doing a commission, and kind of just basically going through the process of everything from the sketch, maybe even going to as far as the conversation with the client that led to the process, like really go bare bones about it, and maybe get to an episode where you actually have the pencils on the page and I could do like a quick, here's how I got to this set of pencils, and then the episode could just be me inking it or coloring it or something like that. But that was the idea anyway. And it would also be a way of guaranteed that at least one of my customers, at least once a week, was going to get a commission done. Because I've had some people now waiting a long time, and it's not something it makes me feel good. It's just the way it is right now.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately.
Sometimes I feel like people don't understand. Like, you got to be patient if you're going to start commissioning stuff and collecting art, man. Because
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I know there's whole websites and stuff dedicated to people slagging on artists who have kind of screwed the pooch, so to speak, on commissions or things like that. So I've always tried my best. Like I don't take any upfront payment on commissions ever because unless in very, very extreme circumstances, because I don't like to be put on the hook for things. I mean, I don't mind putting you on the list and you can wait for when I have an opportunity to do it. I wouldn't take the commission on if I wasn't interested in doing it. But it's, my schedule changes so much. It's difficult to like take someone's money and then suddenly find yourself in a messed up time warp where you're not actually able to get to commissions for like 2 months or 3 months, or in the case of some people, 2 or 3 years. Like I've got a couple pieces that are more elaborate that are going back a couple of years now, and they sit heavy on me like guilty weights around my heart and brain.
I was going to say, you feel the weight when you have somebody's money.
Yeah.
When you have to produce something, it feels like weight.
So that's why I don't take any upfront cash. I have less guilt because I still feel bad people are waiting, but at least I don't owe them any money. Because the problem with taking money at a commission and being like, oh, just mail it to me when you get home. Well, I might get home and it might be 5 months before I can even unpack my bags from that show sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just the way it goes. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at with that. So I thought the show would be a cool way to like show an instructional way of drawing, an instructional way of approaching a problem, and then also just the whole process of everything involved.
Yeah, sounds like a cool show.
Fun. Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Would it be, would it be kind of like tags? Like, would you have any guests on, or?
Yeah, I think that would be part of it. I think once I kind of get my feet under me with it, because I also like it's either that or I want to do like a regular Whatnot show where I kind of do the same thing maybe. Because I watched Carrie Nord's Whatnot show the other day because I'd really been wanting to get involved with that, and he drew a couple nice little sketches plus like a 9x12 Thor, and the pieces sold for the little sketch cards didn't go for much more than 40 or 50 or so, but it was just cool hanging out with him and watching him draw, and he had other stuff available for sale, and I don't know, I think something like that might be also kind of fun to try out. Definitely want to make a better use of the tools of our age and technology to better advantage this year,
Yeah, all the new Whatnot blew up. Like, that was practically an overnight blow up.
It's super intriguing. Yeah, I don't know. It's I only had one Whatnot experience, which was at Fan Expo last summer with Carlos, friend of the show and friend of the Toronto community, Carlos Camara, who owns Gotham Central Comics and Collectibles, and awesome guy. And I was going somewhere with this story.
Were you
Anyway,
were you trying to do New York this year?
I am doing New York this year.
Whatnot was everywhere at New York last year.
Sorry. I just remembered my story. Yeah, sorry. So I went to his booth at Fan Expo. That's what I was getting at. And I did like a half hour, 40-minute session there. Just sold a couple of prints and a couple of like signed Last Ronins and stuff. And I couldn't believe how profitable that 40 minutes was. It was probably the most profitable 40 minutes I've ever had at a show. Couldn't believe it. I kind of walked away like I'd just been slapped in the head. Like stunned by it. And then I would talk to other creators and like Ryan Stegman, I think it was, had sold, or was it Stegman or was it the other guy on Invincible? They were doing like Wolverine head sketches and they were going for crazy money, like $1,200 for these little like 5x6 head sketches that were happening during a Whatnot show. And I was just kind of floored by it.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that Whatnot is a active stream to get artists with collectors and collectors with artists?
Yeah. Where'd they get that idea from?
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the difference is Whatnot is like the old tags model where you could bid during the show.
Oh no!
Well,
I'm not saying anything bad about Whatnot. I think Whatnot's great. It's just I've been preaching Whatnot for 2 years and can't get anybody to do it. Now I'm glad people are finally into it. And the ones that are into it are doing great.
Yeah. I was hesitant about it at first too, but then, some comic shop had Marcos Medina on their live sketching, and he was just taking commissions, and that was really the first art Whatnot I ever watched.
Right.
And back when I worked at the comic shop, we would do live shows during the pandemic, and Whatnot is kind of the same thing. But after I left the shop, they tried to do Whatnot, and Whatnot didn't approve them for some reason.
Oh.
So they had I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Pop Shop Live.
No.
It was kind of like, it's the exact same thing as Whatnot. It's just like a different company is set up a little different.
Okay.
But it was like their mistake was they came out at the wrong time while Whatnot was blowing up. When something blows up, there's a million copies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
We wouldn't have Street Sharks, Biker Mice from Mars,
Transmorphers.
right?
That's a great movie.
No, it's not. That's dog shit. Don't even say that. Come on.
No way.
Oh,
Yeah, but you've said that about some
Classic.
great movies too, though.
no.
Speaking of movies, anybody see the new Blue Beetle trailer?
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig that.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not crazy about this Blue Beetle just because it's just I don't know, DC's Venom. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
he's wearing a MacGuffin. He can do whatever it needs, whatever it wants.
It looks a little bit like there's that one shot, it almost looks like it's Ted Kord's bug ship in that one scene, but I don't know if it's actually his ship, but it's something that looks like it. I don't know if they're gonna have any Ted Kord stuff at all. Or if they do, if they're not just gonna pay homage to the former Blue Beetle or previous Blue Beetles, then they should just not even mention him.
That's the plot, though, right? Isn't his sister the villain?
I honestly don't know, man. I haven't. I don't know much about.
I think his sister's the villain, and she wants the suit back.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's gonna be. I mean, don't quote me because I don't know, but I feel like it's got like an Ironmonger in the first Iron Man vibe.
Okay.
Like, she wants the suit back for the technological or money potential behind it, and the suit shows Jaime and whatever. I feel like Ted Kord will show up in it, whether it's a cameo or a post credits or something. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know too much about the character myself.
When in terms of comics and stuff like that, in the comics, the DC Comics world, like, I'll be honest, a big part of my love of the DC Comics world died when they killed off Ted Kord. when they did that whole Maxwell Lord crisis angle where he started murdering people and he, he killed Ted Cord. And that was just one of those things that just felt like one of those things you can't come back from. And it sort of, I don't know. It just kind of bothered me, I guess. And I never really that loosened DC's grip on me, we'll say it from that point on.
I mean, comics, man. Nobody stays dead forever.
Oh, I know. And they're able to go back and tell stories with, Booster and, going back through time and hanging out with them and all
Well,
that.
see, that was why I was most excited when I heard they were doing a Blue Beetle movie, supposedly in the new James Gunn universe. I'm not 100% sure. It's like the first movie of the DCU or whatever, but
Okay.
I'm just hoping it leads to Booster Gold.
Yeah, I like Booster. He's it'll be a fun, to cast him right, it'll be good.
Right. I just hope, it's not somebody like Ryan Gosling or something like that.
No.
You got a problem with
That
Ryan
would have
Gosling?
worked 10 years ago, maybe, but
I mean, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like now, I don't think what was that movie he did? The Gray Man or something. That was a great movie.
I'm not sure.
It was, I think it was on one of the streaming services, like a disavowed secret agent kind of movie.
Yeah, it was him and Chris Evans, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep. For sure.
Yeah, that was one of those fun popcorn movies. Just don't try to follow the plot too much because there's a lot of off-screen action happening that allows for people to get from point A to point B and not be dead.
Yeah, that's what fast travel's for, man. You cannot fast travel when there's enemies nearby. That's why Dicey goes so well, because we roll and nothing happens during travel. So it's like, boom, we're in the new location. Like, you guys got lucky.
You had your opportunity. Well, I mean, because I don't want to eat up the
There's
entire.
always an opportunity.
Yeah. I don't want to eat up the entire night on a random encounter. Although I should have this last one because you guys got too deep into the lore that I couldn't keep up.
Yep, you were like, this is the most lore we've done. Yeah. Dicey's getting fun, man. I'm surprised we've only really lost, one character in the campaign. But
Yeah, I tried. You guys kept bringing him back. So that's on
well,
you.
I feel like he's. I feel like Nate's characters. I think he's trying to die at some point and see how many characters he can bust out during the campaign. Like that's his gimmick.
I actually said that to Philip Monday night. I said, I wonder if he's trying to beat my record. Where I was pretty much trying to kill my character every adventure, so just come back with his cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just it was literally the same character, I just changed the name.
There's always
what kind of character are you playing?
Oh, I'm running this one.
Yeah.
Oh, you're running this one. Oh, okay.
Stefan's running the asylum this time. Like,
I love it.
For sure. It's different. It's different. and the funny thing is, it's a campaign that I played, 30 years ago. But it's changing enough, and that combined with not remembering a lot of stuff from 30 years ago.
What are you doing, like Pool of Radiance or one of the classics like that?
No, we're doing Room of the Frost Maiden, but I've changed it up. I'm just using the basic.
Nice.
Yeah. So far, we spend more time shopping than anything else. I keep telling Stefan we need Mike in as a guest on Dicey.
No, one of these days, man. Yeah, I miss gaming for sure. I just always feel like I'm the guy that slows the game down because I'm I'm just not really up on the rules and all that. But
yeah.
Oh wait, there's rules.
Not when you're DMing.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait a second. You're like, no, not in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of D&D, anybody else see the movie?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I know, Stefan. You said you wouldn't see it until it's streaming or whatever.
Yeah,
But
May 18th we can talk about it, or you can talk about it now. but I won't be able to talk about it till May 18th.
Right, for sure. Yeah, it wasn't bad. You know, like I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I mean, there's a whole lot of Easter eggs
That's
to
what I
like
heard.
the old cartoon show and stuff, and you know,
Oh, like the old cartoon in that, yeah.
yep.
Well, you can see them in the
A lot of
commercial
subtle
even, though,
nods.
or the trailer. You see them.
There,
in
I
it.
mean,
okay.
there's even Critical Role Easter eggs that they tossed in there.
Mhm.
You know, and it's a damn sight better than the 2000 version.
Oh,
With
the Marlon Wayans
Wayans.
one. Yeah, that was bad.
Yep, it
Well, I
sure
mean-
was.
I mean, it was so bad that I'll watch White Girls first.
White chicks.
Or White Chick, sorry. Yeah.
It's so bad that I think my brain actually like expelled the part of it that contained that information, because I don't remember it. I just remember I don't think I could make it through it. I can't remember what it was. I was a big D&D guy at one point too, and that was yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
Your brain
Wasn't-
blocked it like it's a traumatic event.
Yeah,
I
it
think-
shut it out. It shut it out of my memories,
It's too
protecting me.
painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing is like when you have like I was having this conversation earlier because like I saw the new Mario movie the other day,
Right.
and I heard that John Leguizamo is making a big stink now, saying that everybody loved the classic and I should have been Luigi and whatever and stuff like that, and it's
No,
like
you shouldn't.
I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
mean.
I-
There's nostalgic love for that original, but it was trash.
and I think everybody who has nostalgic love for the original does not remember the original.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right.
that was a dog shit movie. I mean,
The article I thought
Combination.
Leguizamo was more upset about the fact that the movie didn't have proper representation, but that might have been a joke headline because it's Mario
No, I
Brothers.
think he did. I think he that was part of his argument, but I also think he used that as a smokescreen for complaining about the fact that they didn't, bring him back or whatever. I mean, I know there was a lot of uproar about Chris Pratt at first because he wasn't Italian or whatever, but the movie was good. The movie was good. Jack Black was hilarious as Bowser. Yeah, it's a lot of little nods, a lot of Easter eggs in that movie too. But it was good. But I mean, a lot of people were complaining that it didn't have this and it didn't have that, and I'm like, well, it's a kids movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, we're getting the same complaints when we saw the trailer for Mutant Mayhem, and I'm like, these are kids movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're about properties that we love and we're nostalgic about, but still kids movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know it was going in that direction, so when I saw that trailer, I was like, "Oh, it's a kid movie." Like I mean, it's probably I'm probably not their target audience, but I'll still go and I'll still see it because it's turtle stuff. But there's some elements of it that are like whatever. That looks like it might be fun, but I also just sort of did not know they were going in that direction. I thought they were going in a gritty, kind of more graphic novel style kind of
Right.
approach. But
Right. Well, it's like I've always said, like, first and foremost, Nickelodeon and Viacom own the property.
Yep.
And as long as you can make toys based on the product, it will be a children's
oh
property
yeah,
of
yeah,
Nickelodeon, and they're gonna treat it as such. I'm surprised that, we got the okay for a Last Ronin like video game.
yeah.
But that's going to be interesting because now they want to base it on God of War and all that stuff.
Like follow the same kind of model, but just basically change out all the scenery to
I'm hoping they don't just reskin the game. That would be terrible. Like, I'm hoping they go back and like we have flashbacks where you have to play through as each turtle and you basically have to play out their deaths.
That's what I got from it when I saw them talking about it. That it was going to be something like that.
I mean, that would be heartbreaking all over again to have to play the turtle and do their death. I mean, each individual turtle's death in Last Ronin hit different people different ways.
For sure.
I mean, Raph hit me hard. Casey and Leo should have hit me harder, but you never saw it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then I have friends who were curled up on the couch in a ball because Donatello died.
Yeah.
So
I get it, man.
Oh, spoilers! Anybody who hasn't read Last Ronin.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey.
I mean that series has been out for 3 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not spoiling anything in Lost.
Some of us are slow readers, man. Come on.
You need to get an audiobook, sir.
Honestly, it would be easier for me. Yes.
I find audiobooks very I always thought they were weird growing up, but I find it easier these days because I feel like I should always be doing something, and if I'm doing something, I can still hear like my friend wrote a series of books recently, and she sent me the audio recordings and everything. So, I mean, it all depends on who's reading the audiobook, doesn't it? So,
yeah, it's funny, man. I was getting into audiobooks for a while, and I'm a fan of Diamond Dallas Page. Like I do DDP yoga and stuff like that, and I thought I would get his audiobook because he's actually a pretty decent coach to kind of have in your ear, at least during the workouts. And I thought, why not, see what he has to say. And I got the book, and there's actually a disclaimer at the beginning that's like 2 minutes long of DDP going, "All right, listen, guys, the DVD you're about to listen to, I'm really sorry. When we were making this thing, I didn't have the time to do the recording myself, so I got a guy to record it. And while he does a good job, anyway, I just want to get on here and tell you, I'm sorry. And the next time we do an audiobook, it'll be me. But anyway, enjoy my book." and the book is it's not bad, but the guy is just a cheesier. It's like an old man trying to do his best DDP impersonation, and it's not good. It was a free audiobook, so I don't care. But it was man, I just thought it was so funny that
he actually did the impersonation
on his own product. He's like, yeah, so this is a big piece of shit, and next time it'll be better. But thank you. Please enjoy my book.
I mean, I wonder how much that happens for audiobooks. When a celebrity is supposed to read an audiobook and they just find somebody that does a great impression of them.
Well, I know in Chris Jericho with his books, he said the same thing. His first one, he let someone else tell his story, and he heard it, and he was outraged. He felt like none of the nuances came through, so he from that point on said he's only doing his own audiobooks, which is, I think that's just the way to do it. It's your biography. Why would you have someone else? If you're just reading your own biography into a microphone, then
But I mean, it's not even necessarily a book they wrote. It's oh, this person played the character in this movie, so they're gonna read the book.
Yeah.
It's all about tone of voice.
I got an awesome Dracula one that's got Tim Curry as Dracula, and it's got
holy shit,
based off of the Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I've never listened to it. I actually picked it up last year before we got into doing the Dracula Visions project from Slam Press Tomes. Martin's Martin Slam Duncan's books.
Right.
He's doing a Frankenstein book now, but the Dracula book, I bought it for that purpose, and still haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. But apparently, it's great. Actually, had a lot of really recognizable names in the cast, but Tim Curry as Dracula was where my brain just clicked on. Yep, let's get this.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, so Tim Curry as Dracula. What's your take on Nicolas Cage as Dracula in that movie coming up?
I think he's going to be great at it. If he's playing a cheesy version of Dracula, it'll be perfect.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Nicholas Hoult as an actor, but I don't know. I mean, I think Nicolas Cage at some point he realized that over the top was the only way he could play roles. And then he went and did that the semi autobiographical Weight of Massive Talent, but it was still like a satire.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
That movie's great if you get a chance to check it out.
Yeah.
He's basically playing a satirized version of himself, and yeah,
Huh.
it's not bad. Didn't you see that, Stefan?
No, unfortunately, it's one on my list, and I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it.
Oh, right, for sure.
I own it. I just haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. I never understood that people own all these movies and they don't watch them. But I understand. Life
Oh,
gets
time,
busy.
baby. Yeah.
Yep, no time. And you don't want to start a movie that you're just gonna you're gonna fall asleep. And I hate stopping a movie and then going back to it later and being like, wait a second, I missed a bunch of stuff. I must have stopped it, I must have tuned out before I stopped it. Yeah. Okay, let's see here, Mike. Alrighty. Okay. So, okay. You guys heard about all the Star Wars announcements yesterday?
No, I'm assuming something happened because I saw a bunch of posts, but I don't know.
Yeah, I heard about it. I'm still sad.
What is it? Okay, what's going on?
They're gonna keep going with the sequel trilogy. With that, I didn't like it. I thought the last 3 movies were trash, but I know other people have opinions. That's just mine. I didn't want to see any more things going in that direction, but Disney's gonna do what Disney does.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna bleed it dry
because they don't have to pay extra for those characters.
Right.
Yeah, they own that for sure.
Right. I don't know.
I like the character of Rey. I don't know. I don't know that she needs another movie, but
right. I feel like she's just gonna be like an ancillary character training new Jedi or something. I don't know. I would rather be focused that way.
Yeah, I think I'm Star Wars though too. I don't care that much anymore.
Well, that's the thing is like we're Star Wars out, we're superheroed out. Like, what is left these days?
Right.
Everything is a reboot, remake, or a prequel, or a sequel, or some nostalgic franchise you decided to bring back after 40 years.
That people get mad about, and then the wild dance continues, and you know what I mean. Like, there's always like someone mad about She-Ra somewhere.
Speaking of She-Ra, isn't next week Masters of the Universe?
Yes, I believe it is. Yeah. I won't be on that show, but that's why I'm on this show instead. I was going to be on that show, but it's not going to work out timing-wise for me after all. But yeah, it's going to be a good one, I'm sure, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Masters of the Universe. Nice. What's up, Stephen?
I was saying yes. Can confirm. Yes, it is.
Nice. And Vance, you're coming back for that too, right?
Put him on the spot, apparently.
Did we lose you?
Oh, did we lose Vance? I can't hear him.
You can see.
I can see his screen, but I don't think we can hear him.
Yeah, his mic might not be working.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Vance is on a tag streak, man.
Yeah,
he's like our regular reoccurring guest lately.
What's the chances of us being able to do a Warhammer night?
Oh man.
The
new season.
New season. Yeah, it had to be a new season. Yeah, because we're winding down here and we've got everything filled out.
Yep. Yeah, there's not too many left. What do we got? About a month left?
6 left.
We go to the end of May, right?
Yeah, 5/20.
Nice. And you said you were mentioning maybe doing some summer shows for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, we'll do some specials for the covers. That way we don't have to do the first couple of episodes of the covers. Like we did this season.
Okay. Have you made any plans for next season yet, or are you just gonna wait and see?
Oh, I just
What
want to get
happened?
through this season first.
You gotta get
'cause-
through this season.
yeah, I mean, because honestly, like I said, because we ended up almost doubling the number of shows we did, because we had all the new guests come on, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but we have enough to do the fourth volume, so I got to kind of figure out what we're going to do with that. Because I'd like to get that launched before we go into that way. The next season will just be new art, new book.
Yeah.
But
So are we? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just, and I've got to figure out because we're, like issue 1 and issue 2 are completely gone now with the fulfillment on the people who ordered through Kickstarter. So like, reprint it? Do we do a trade volume? I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah, it's tricky, man. I'm in that same boat with Dodge. Like we ran out of issue 2s, and now we're going to be doing a Kickstarter for number 4, so we'll probably have to print a whole bunch of issue 2s to cover it, because there'll be people jumping on hopefully for issue 4 who haven't got issues 1 to 3 yet, and we'll be able to get bundle packs and get the whole thing. So yeah, it's a tricky thing, man. It's a real tricky thing, and you got to build that into your cost of the Kickstarter too, which is additional complication for sure.
Right. Forgive me if you mentioned it before, but do you guys have a roundabout date for the Kickstarter for issue 4?
For Dodge?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm the one that's slowing down the train right now. I'm drawing the book, and it's coming out. I'm about, honestly, 2 full months behind where I wanted to be production wise. I feel like we can run the Kickstarter probably next month. Like I feel like I'll be comfortable to do that because the drawing will be mostly done by then. It'll just be getting it colored, and I'll probably have to do my covers. And we already have our alternate cover for issue 4 already ready, so we can launch our Kickstarter. But the main cover, I haven't got that sorted yet because I'm still drawing the book, and I've just come to a difficult part in the book that is testing my perspective skills, which I realize are very, very rusty, because the first 3 issues of the book have basically been, guys in the woods fighting werewolves and stuff like that, and some Vietnam stuff. But there's some scenery that like interior scenes of a of a construct that is becoming difficult to draw, and it's slowing down my wheels a little bit. But ideally, we'd like to have that Kickstarter going as soon as possible. I'm hoping next month at the latest, so that we can run that for a month and be really in good shape by the time it's over. We'll probably still have to set up a fulfillment time for around September again, like we did before. But we actually, it was about today's the 8th, so it was actually a week ago last year, like the 1st of April, that we launched our Kickstarter for issue 3. I can't believe it's been a whole year, but here we are. So certainly don't want to go too much later with the Kickstarter. I'm thinking hopefully by the end of the month I'll be able to have a real good concrete date set in place.
Right. So I'm gonna say, so if you guys end up doing a trade, would that include the retcon stuff?
No, retcon was its own trade, so it'll probably be it'll be directly connected to retcon. So we'll do this 4th issue, and then depending on how it all goes, I want to do a little bit of remastering maybe on some of the earlier material, and then do a Kickstarter for like the trade, like the full trade paperback collection of them all. Maybe by the end of this year, maybe in time for Christmas even. And then people would be able to get the retcon series and read them back to back, which I think will make a lot of sense. So I'm really excited about it, man. And I've gotten a chance to design my own new characters in this. I've gotten a chance to draw my friends, some of my friends in this book. Yeah, man, it's just I'm really happy with it. I just wish I was faster. And I wish I didn't have kind of a choppy month with medical appointments and stuff like that, which is going to kind of make this month a little bit of a doozy. But I've been very fortunate.
First.
Well, I've been very fortunate too, because this past month, I actually landed 2 cover gigs, and I haven't had any cover gigs in a while, so it was kind of sweet. I just finished one 2 days ago. I actually had our friend Danny Harrell do the flat coloring for me on it, and he did absolutely beautiful work. It made the job so much easier. That one, the deadline for that one is very soon. Like I've got it in early already. I'm done, so I'm working on the other one. Hoping to get that done before I go under the knife this week. But yeah, it's we'll see how she goes. Anyway, should all be fine. But yeah, really want to get Dodge done. Really want to get back into it and get into a good flow. I still have a lot of inking to do, but I'm still penciling a couple of the really tough pages. And I'm one of those people, I won't start inking until I feel like the pencils are all solid and secure, and then I start inking.
Right. I mean, you got to be a perfectionist about your own work sometimes.
Well, it's to my own detriment a lot of the time, I'm sure, but it's it's just a process with comics. It's a whole different thing.
It's just funny. It's just funny that you say like you're the one slowing things down when like I've heard people talk about how they're in awe of like how fast you work sometimes, especially on like these shows.
Yeah, it's a different thing with interior pages though, because
For sure.
every frame is its own composition, and I obsess about them. And I there's probably so many easier ways to get to the same solution that I'm coming up with for my interior pages, but I just have to do things my way. And
so you're just doing the layouts, you're doing everything,
yeah,
just based
everything
off
except
of
the colors and the
script.
lettering, yeah. Pretty much.
Did you have any input in the script or?
Yeah, in this issue, I'm actually getting a writing credit because I had a 3-page stint that I ended up turning into a 5-page sequence, yeah. So I actually had to write 5 pages, and actually end up writing a joke and a little bit of dialogue into it too. So that was a cool experience.
I've come to learn recently, like I've always tried to get my writing out there and stuff like that, but I tried my hand at writing for comics recently, and it's a whole new animal. Spending most of my life writing screenplays and books and stuff, but then it's like paneling everything out and dividing the action up into paneling, like.
Oh yeah, man. It's
I never really had to storyboard anything like that before, and it's
yeah, it's tricky. And I really do like to hold as closely as I can to the script when I'm working to someone's vision like that. But the one of the pages daunting me right now is a 10-panel page, and 3 of those panels have like people in them, like a bunch of people. So it's just a very tricky thing to lay out and still have a flow happening on the page. Like I almost want to break the page up into 3 pages because there's a lot of stuff happening, but it kind of all needs to be on one page because of how it fits with the rest of the story. So
right.
it's just one of those kind of weird aesthetic things that you wrestle with until you get the solution. And that's what it is. It's all problem solving, it's all problem solving.
Yeah. What the hell? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's I always wondered originally like whether like you guys drew your own panels or, whether, if you had an outside artist who didn't really have, obviously obviously the writers often different and they have different panels, and some artists or some writers will, panel it out ahead of time. And I've seen some artists that receive the pages with the panels already done. But I've also seen other artists who, have to draw the panels out themselves in reference to the script.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that can be a limiting thing sometimes, but I also actually love it when the writer will actually do a little thumbnail, or if the writer has a very specific idea of what they want on that panel. I don't mind that at all. I've always been an art robot, so I don't mind just doing what I'm told when it comes to being an illustrator or whatever kind of story. Ultimately, I'm the one in the driver's seat controlling the story, but I don't want to reject the stuff that the writers write into those pages on that panel that you wanted in there, it's going to be in there. That's just how I have to do it. So I obsess about it to the point where it probably takes me much longer to do stuff than it should. But that's part of the job. Like until I'm telling my own stories, I want to adhere as close to the instructions I'm given as I can. That's just always the way I've worked.
Right. For sure. But I mean, you can always. I mean, there's always ways to make it your own style and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. How about you, Camilla? Are you finding the same thing when you're doing your own story? Like that's kind of you set yourself up with a story that you want to like. You got the story you're telling, you got a scene you have to draw, and then when you actually go sit down to draw it, you're like, man, that motherfucker wants me to draw this. Wait a minute, I'm that motherfucker. Like I've been that guy, and it's I'm like, why did I say I wanted to do this? Like. It's like you're doing like a fight choreograph or something, and I've got these great ideas that I want to have Dodge doing in this fight scene against these werewolves, and they all sound great when I write it down, and then I go to draw it, and I'm like, God damn, that's actually how the hell do you draw that? It's not like I can reference that. How do I draw this? Why did I give myself this impossible task? But it's one of the beautiful things. But I just wondered if you found that that experience at all with your
Definitely,
story.
man. Definitely, like sometimes I look at the scenes I've given myself, like draw a top view of a therapist office, and I'm like, why the hell have I given myself this weird, and then it takes me forever to draw. But I actually learned a lot doing my own stories, because some of them I would write a full script for myself, and then others I would just make it up as I go along. And I realized that, like, for those ones where I just made it up, planning really well with a full script makes it so much easier. Like you were talking about being like an art robot, and like if I ever worked with a writer, I'd love them just to tell me exactly what I have to draw.
Yeah. Yeah. I did that for years, and I actually found it was like I was able to produce so much more work when I was just told exactly what to draw.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't always. I mean, in the case of doing like the children's books and things like that I was doing, it was a lot of dry historical material, which I would usually be referencing photographs or referencing whatever old footage or whatever, and so a lot of it wasn't the most exciting stuff. And that actually being told exactly what to draw actually took some of the sting out of that and just made it passable work to do each day without really having to think too hard about it. So then, after doing this for years and years, doing all these graphic novels for Scholastic Books and places like that, when it came time to actually draw my own stuff and lay out a page just based off of a script, it was a whole different thing than when Scholastic would send me a PDF layout with all of the boxes already pre-drawn, and I would with a description of what to draw in each box, that kind of thing.
Wow. It's got to be a whole lot easier when you have exact instructions.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But do you feel like, while it is easier, do you feel like sometimes it's like constraining?
Oh, big time. Yeah. But, at the end of the day, it's a job, right? And,
Right.
the best thing to do is to get through it as quickly as you can. And so you can get home and work on the things that are more important, the things that actually matter, the real creative, projects that make your heart beat a little bit, and, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's true of any job, really.
Yeah.
Do what you're told, so you can go home and do what you want.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Hey, man, I've even had the occasional cover gig. As grateful as I am for every cover gig that I get, sometimes they're just a bear. They're just like And that wasn't a Dodge joke. I mean, sometimes it's sometimes it's just like, holy crap, I got to draw that, or oh man, I got to reference this, or oh, I've got to draw this celebrity or whatever the case may be. Yeah, it can just be a job sometimes. That's what it is.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you ever get a request to make something that you're just not into at all, and it makes it so much harder
Oh God,
to make it?
Yeah, for sure. I've had all kinds of horrible jobs that never thought I'd be caught dead drawing them, but yeah. Oh man, I used to do a lot of work for charity groups that would do fundraisers for like the bigger things like Canadian Lung Association or the National Institute for the Blind or things like this. And in some cases, I would have to do pretty elaborate drawings of their facilities or drawings of the their labs or things like this. People using their equipment, instructional type stuff. And oh my God, it was dry material, just mind-numbingly dry material. But I knew how to draw it, and that's what I was hired to do. So
now, are those completely different from like your normal style, or?
Oh yeah, they would have been more, very instructional, very safe, sometimes very simple drawings. Yeah, I mean, depending on what it was, I was a jack of all trades. And in terms of an illustrator, because I didn't really have a style in those days. I still don't really have a style that I feel is an actual style. I feel like I'm still trying to figure out how I want to ink things and whatever. But back then, I would just do whatever was called upon.
Right.
And the Canadian Lung Association, I did a Santa Claus. They wanted like a Norman Rockwell style Coca-Cola ad Santa Claus. That they ended up using, for like 7 or 8 years for their national campaign. So a piece of junk mail showed up in every Canadian mailbox for 7 years in a row with this little Santa Claus that I painted, like a realistic looking Santa Claus.
You should have just done yourself as Santa and then had Mike's face in Canadian junk mail for the next 30 years.
But those kind of gigs were fun, but they were simple, a simple portrait, something like that. But yeah, I remember once I had to draw an entire village for an Africa aid, like a UNICEF, themed project. And, again, it paid really well, but it was incredibly difficult work. Yeah.
If you're not in like, especially like, I feel like I don't know how, charity groups like that go around about choosing their artists, whether it's done through networking or connections, or they just pick a random artist. But like, especially for stuff like that, like the realism, the realism style where it has to be all about likeness and or at least a vague concept of like likeness of real people and stuff like that. And I don't know, I've seen some weird, some weird takes on like animation for stuff like that, like animals that don't quite look right and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's always weird. Like the people that hire me aren't concerned about art. They have a concept in their they're meeting with 15 non-creative people about how to sell a product or sell an idea, like how to get people to donate to a cause or donate to a charity. And so they have these different ideas for a concept, and then they come to me, and they come to me after they have the concept pretty much already ironed out, but they have no idea what it would actually take to produce it, right? In terms of being able to draw it or whatever. So that was always, I found that frustrating working in that sphere, was that, no one actually consults the artist until it's time to do the art. But, if you had us involved in the actual creative process from the jump, you might actually end up with something that's so much stronger. But
yeah,
that's life in the illustration business.
Danny says he's going to get you to draw his office, and he's going to ink it using only his slowly rotting soul.
Oh man.
That's funny. Let's see here. See how far along you guys are getting. Okay, so Camillo, is Baxter dragging Donnie or is Donnie dragging Baxter?
Now Baxter's Dragon Donnie.
Okay. So like he's flying away with him?
Yeah.
That's kind of sweet. Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah, I gotta turn around and see what you guys are doing.
I like how you blended the different styles of Baxter.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little annoyed they never really utilized the fly. I mean, I like the human version of Baxter in the IDW take, but as far as most of us know, Baxter's when you say Baxter Stockman, most people know the fly, unless all you've read is the newer stuff, or the very early Mirage stuff.
Right.
I just wish. I mean, I think the closest we got to the fly was Vance was. Can Vance hear us now?
He can hear us. He just can't.
Oh, he can't respond. Okay. The ones they did for the IDW games, where they actually drew like the IDW version of Baxter, like what he would look like as a fly.
Mm.
Because I think in the beginning it was just they had to tie it in with Brundle. It was just that kind of idea.
Right.
We should be getting the fly in the new movie.
Oh, right. Well, see, that's what I wondered about, because like they were like, okay, they had a voice for Baxter Stockman, and then like, was it Ice Cube?
Yeah,
voicing like Superfly or something.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's like a whole separate character, or it's the Baxter Fly version.
I hope it's a separate character.
Yeah. I'm just hyped to see, we're finally getting some Mutanimals characters.
Yeah.
In the movies. We're finally getting Ray, we're finally getting Mondo. Post Malone is a very interesting choice for Ray Fillet, but I think Paul Rudd is pretty much perfect for Mondo. I mean, the only other person I could think of is Sean Penn as Spicoli.
Yeah.
Would have been great for Mondo if he could just channel Spicoli. Yep, now we can.
Yeah, now we can. Yep.
For sure. I don't know.
Wait, hang on a second. We can hear you. They can't. I gotta bring you back in. All right, let her rip.
No, I was saying that I think it's cool when they brought the voice of Mikey from the movies into the 2012 cartoon to play Mondo.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they used the same voice actor.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll be honest with you. I need to go back and watch some of the 2012 show because I binged it. I found it randomly. I think it was before it left Netflix, and I think it's back on Netflix now. But I binged the whole 2012. 2012 is decent for what it was. Everybody has their favorite iteration of Turtles, and some things went different ways in 2012, but they paid decent homage to both the 87 cartoon and the different 2003.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
2012. And at first I wasn't a huge fan of the Zero art, but it definitely grew on me.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 2012. That's Zero's art, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think that guy was cool, man. I got the table next to him at Granite. I thought he was a cool dude.
Yeah, Camillo, he was a really nice guy. He was like real. He was a lot. It's like sometimes you meet an artist and like they're quiet a lot. And Camillo was quiet for a lot of the time that we were there, but then he would come out, and hang out after the shows and stuff.
Zero, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping that we get that he comes back next year for the 40th.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Because I'm really hoping that cons, take advantage of the fact that it's the 40th anniversary of the Turtles next year. And
Yeah, I mean, I hope more than. Well, it'd be nice if they got recognized. It would be nice if they could just kind of take a lap that year and be honored at every show. I mean, I know
Right.
Kevin gets honored at every show he does anyway, but for them to actually, call it out and make a big deal of the fact that it's the Turtles 40, I think that's a pretty huge deal.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, that's hard to believe. It's been 40 years.
It's hard to believe. You know why? You know what really made it hard to believe that it's only. Well, it's weirdly like I can't believe it's been 40 years, but then at the same time, it's like, oh, it's only been 40 years because Hellboy just had its 30th anniversary,
Oh my god!
which is super weird to me because Hellboy kind of still in the lexicon of my life still feels kind of more like a newish character, even though I know that's not the case. Like it's not. It's been around since the early 90s, but I just can't believe it's been 30 years. And so that putting the Turtles in that context, only having showed up, basically 10 years or 9 years before Hellboy, it's just a very strange way for me to picture that chunk of time in my life, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Right. I remember being in skipping a class in high school and going to the comic book store and seeing the first Turtles book in there going, what the hell is this? So it's crazy that it's 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, man.
Well, it's like I was talking earlier, like my exposure to the Turtles in the beginning was obviously the cartoon show, the action figures. Because I feel like Turtles was one of the last cartoon shows that were strictly designed to sell toys.
Mm.
The last of that late 70s, 80s run of shows where the show was strictly there to sell toys. He-Man, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, all that like that. And I mean, even though the Playmates line got really ridiculous towards the end of the run, they still worked some of those characters into the shows. And it's like I said earlier, like as long as you can make a toy out of the franchise, kids' toys, like mass-produced toys, not like the collectibles that they make, NECA and that stuff nowadays. Because I mean, surprisingly, adult collectors with nostalgia are the number one buyers of toys right now.
Doesn't surprise me in the least.
It's all of us going back to get all the better versions of toys that we didn't get when we were kids.
Well, yeah, and the reality is people with kids can't afford to get those collector edition toys anyway.
Right.
I don't think. And honestly, if a kid's got I think kids, most kids are probably playing handheld video games and stuff like that and are on their iPhone or their iPads now anyway. Like I'm wondering if toys in general have dropped. You know what I mean? Just because of the technology that's so, I don't know, kind of probably more instantly gratifying in some ways than, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just way out of perspective, but that seems to me like how things are kind of going. Maybe, I don't know.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Well, that's another thing with the nostalgia is like it goes along with the idea that there's no original ideas in Hollywood and all movies are sequels and reboots and remakes. Like now they're re-releasing all the old toys we grew up with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They re-released Grayskull and Snake Mountain, and I was in the store today or the other day and I saw, Playmates has done re-releases of the Storage Shell Turtles and the Pizza Shooter Turtles and stuff like that. And, I feel weird about re-releases because I still have original figures.
Yeah.
But it just, being 40 years old and going to Target and seeing the original packaging, they brought back the original packaging. Just seeing it on the shelf again is just surreal.
Oh, yeah.
And just knowing that it's twice the price now.
The original He-Man packaging still gets me. It still gets me in the heartstrings for sure.
Well, yeah, they did He-Man first when they brought out the Origins line,
Right.
You know, and those, and it's like it's what I said, like the updated versions of toys that we had as a kid, like the way Super 7 is done, the Turtle releases or the Thundercats figures. I don't have any of those Thundercats figures, but like the old figures where you used to put the key in the back and Lino and Mumra's eyes would light up. Like they don't make sweet toys like that anymore, like fully interactive toys, I don't know, man. I'm that's how I know I'm getting old, because I'm just like, they just don't make them like they used to.
I'd love to
Kids want video games more than toys nowadays.
Yeah.
I'd love to do all the Dodge characters as like I think GI Joe style, like 80s style GI Joes, not the original style, but like the 3.5 inch or the 5 inch.
Oh, the little figures with the.
I'd probably do them like that. I think that'd be fun. But then otherwise, I'd want to go, kind of high end, like those high end military figures that come with all the cool gear and stuff. I'd love to do them like that, like maybe like the original GI Joes, but the ones that are like they have now that are super modern, and they just have the most amazing gear and like scale weapons and pouches and all this kind of stuff.
I love Harlan toy style.
200 points of
that's
articulation.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to make a transforming version of Dodge.
Yeah, for sure. We'd have to find a way around that. The character that I just created for the series, I want to make a toy out of him for sure. I think he's going to be popular. So,
Nice.
Yeah, I'm stoked about it.
Thomas, is that the other piece you're talking about that you're working on?
Yeah, yeah. This is going to be the other turtle that I want to actually make some articulation for.
Oh, that's cool.
If I can get it moving around, posable.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. What size is that going to be?
Probably about 6 to 7 inches tall. Just because I need to make them it's kind of like a Frankenstein problem where I need everything to be big so I can make the joints and everything.
Right.
And I'm gonna have to use special resin that's really durable and kind of rubbery, so that that when the parts rub against each other, they don't shave off.
Right.
That's always been my problem with parts rubbing together.
And how did you get around that, Stefan?
I didn't. I just constantly shaved parts off, unfortunately.
Yeah, so if I can get some articulation and something finally, I'll be pretty excited, because I've always wanted to do that.
Oh, this will be the first figure you're doing with articulation?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a milestone.
Just because I know how many problems I'm going to run into doing it, I've been kind of putting it off. So it's going to take a while to actually get it done, with everything else that's going on. But
you got to build like the ball socket joints for like the joint, like to join them into the torso or things like that, and print all the parts separately. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Huh.
So there's a lot to think about when you're doing something like that. A lot of trial and error too, because you have to make sure that you have the range of motion when you're making the parts.
I think you just came up with the idea for the first thing I'll scan.
Uh-oh. What's that?
Well, I've got a bunch of action figures. I can just take them apart. I'll scan the joints and hand them to you. And then you can take them in and manipulate them.
Yeah. Actually, the first time I tried doing articulation, I never went to print and everything. It was with your character, Stefan.
I'm sorry, what?
For the pound.
What about
it? That's the first time I tried doing articulation. Is I took one of the pound figures that I made for you, and I took them apart and I put some articulation in there. Let's see if I can find it, because that was pretty cool.
Was that the original figures or like the toilet diorama you did?
It was the. Do you remember the figures where they were standing there and there was a werewolf arm coming out of the sewer?
Oh yeah, yep.
I made, they kind of had their dog catcher gear.
Nice. I still haven't read The Pound. I'm still trying to get a copy of it to read it, but
Dude.
it's scarce around here apparently.
It's
You know.
scarce everywhere. I mean, that's actually what Hugh and I were talking about the other day, and how we're going to do the Kickstarter for it. Is we're probably going to do a Kickstarter for the volumes, but add the Christmas story that never was printed into volume 1, and then Hugh's story into volume 2. So each volume will have original content, and it will lead
Oh,
right
that's
into
cool.
will lead right into the new series.
Ah.
And do it, inexpensive enough to where people can like get both volumes.
Oh, you're doing a new series?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah,
didn't know you guys were picking it up again.
Yeah, Hugh did the art. We're having issues with the color at the moment, so that's why we haven't launched yet. We're trying to lock it down.
Nice. So, are you going to do Kickstarter again? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you going to have a tier to get the originals?
That's what I'm saying. It's
Okay.
the actual Kickstarter is going to be releasing volume 1 and 2 with original content. And then if we get to a certain stretch goal, then we will also print Hugh's issue as a single issue. But it's going to be in the back of volume 2 that way. So we figured that way people can pick it up, get into it. They're going to read volume 1, volume 2, and then it will have Hugh's first issue in volume 2 as well.
Nice.
Okay.
And that way, then we'll go right into the series.
You eventually down the road, we just need a Dodge and Pound crossover.
The guys would be called for it. Yeah, Dodge visits Chicago or Cleveland.
That's it. Yeah, there's going to be some Dodge crossover stuff happening. I know that I don't know a lot about it yet or who's involved, but I know that Matt has actually hired a shadow team to do a Dodge story while I'm drawing this one, which won't be it'll be like a side story that's sort of tangentially connected. The nice thing about retcon is there's sometimes a lot of little loose ends that are just left there to just leave you wondering, not there to torture you, just there to make you go, oh, well, I noticed that, but I noticed this didn't happen. Interesting, that kind of stuff. So I think he's going in and wanting to tell some of those kind of little half stories, and he told me he's got. I know the guys involved. I don't want to say who it is yet, but I'm really curious to see what they're going to do.
Nice.
So Ethan put on there, there's a digital sculpt that makes the classic TMNT Playmates toys that move.
Oh,
yeah, Ethan does a lot of 3D printing work too.
Oh,
cool.
He was showing me earlier. He did some full resin. I think he did a Leonardo. He was showing me earlier. He's done some pretty cool stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of his posts. Yeah.
Well, you're in there with us, Mike. You've seen some of the stuff he's posted.
In the chat. Yeah, sometimes I see them. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of his, it's like 3D printing has always kind of fascinated me as long as it's been around, and it's like, the whole. It's like that's why like when I first started following Thomas and you guys had him on tags, it's like the design part of it just is more intriguing to me than the actual like printing, but seeing people, like getting the files, whatever, fair use or whatever, they get the files and they print them out, but then they change the piece, like you print them out piece by piece and change them up. I've seen some really weird mashups of different 3D prints.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you there, but Thomas has got the articulated Scotty on screen.
Oh,
here.
nice.
So if you look at Scotty's arms and legs here.
Oh yeah, wicked.
Did it actually work out? Did you try printing it or?
I didn't go to print because the resin that I have, I wouldn't be able to do these joints.
You tell me the resin you need, I'll make sure you have it by Tuesday.
Man, there's a company called Soriatech that makes this resin that's like ABS like rubbery stuff that that would be what I'd need to use.
Send me a link. Send me a link after the stream. I'm serious. I will have it to
You're
your
totally
house.
making the Dodge toys, man. That's this is unbelievable. Yeah, totally. Wow.
Yeah.
So this is I was using this to try to learn how to do it.
Mhm.
I saw some videos on the people that make the Star Wars figures.
Nice.
And the process they have to do. And watching that video, I pretty much learned.
And you got his jerk off hand perfect. The index
Well, you need
fingers.
that.
The index finger's always a little off. Yeah.
They do that so you can put a gun in his hand and have him use the trigger and everything, but jerking off too, whatever. He has this little Vaseline pouch.
That's
over
right.
here. And another thing is, I think the last show I was on, I was telling you about this other resin that's rubber that you can print bendable things. So around his waist, he could have a real belt with rubber that for these parts over here that stick out of the sides.
So you can make the utility accessory type.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So the
that's
gun,
cool.
the gun could really come in and out of the holster over here.
Man, too
Oh, yeah.
rad.
He's gonna be right next to Lando. Got to get that done.
That's cool.
I wanted to ask you too, Thomas, about Sketchfab. Is that if there's something that is on Sketchfab, if it exists on Sketchfab, is it in theory printable? Like in 3D, or is it a particular file type that you have to?
If the person makes the object downloadable, you could download it as an STL or a .obj file.
Oh, okay.
Which is printable. Yeah.
Okay. Just thought I was interested in that. I checked out that site before, and it's got some pretty cool models there, actually.
I have all of my work up there
I'll have
that
to
I
find
do.
it.
It's like my, what do you call it? My catalog, whatever.
Yeah.
It's everything I make, I put up there so people can look at it and spin it around and see all the things.
If we can get this locked in on Scotty and Howie, yeah, that's definitely going to be a tier thing.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out the costs on that, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
besides
it would be
the-
cool to have the figures.
besides my cost for the ones on my shelf, but then after that,
Well,
I
Stefan,
pay for design.
well, you are the prototype. You have
Yeah.
all Thomas's prototypes.
That's
I was
true,
going
yeah.
to say, you get the prototypes.
Yeah, I'll scan my face for Scotty.
Everybody loved that Hellboy, and then Stefan's like, "I've got it right here."
Yes, sir, baby. Right.
Hellboy night was fun. That was, and it
That
was.
was.
It was. We had a bunch of people in here too. Like, it was Hellboy night was pretty popular.
Well, it was the only time we did Hellboy this season. So whenever we have that one night where it's the one and only. It's like remember last year the My Little Pony thing blew up.
That was a crazy night. Yeah, that was actually a crazy night. Yep. I'd like to do a Hulk night. I would
fuck
like
that.
that because I think
Michael's in the room. That's why I said
Payne
that.
is waking up now.
Yeah.
That's why I said fuck that.
Well, I told Pena that we should do a Hulk night, but it's all the background characters.
That's what I said. Yeah, as I
There's
said,
no actual Hulks.
tertiary characters are further down the line. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
like Doc Samson's like the highest we'll go because I want to.
Yeah.
Doc
Even Rick Jones is too close.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it's all Banner not hulked out. Just him like
that's what I said,
working in the
all just
lab,
Banner.
driving to grocery store.
Domestic banner night.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of the sketch off at Granite, Mike, where they were like just random, like Casey Jones shopping at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. It's just so different. Like, I mean, we do Muppets mashups. Just take a different franchise. Be like, oh yeah, Hulk. This is mundane Hulk night.
Yeah.
He's not incredible tonight.
Yeah. Average Hulk.
It's Bill Bixby night, everybody. It's
The
time
not
for-
so incredible Hulk night.
Yeah.
you can only draw Bill Bixby, Eric Bana, or Ed Norton, or Mark Ruffalo. That's it.
Or whatever
You
you
know,
do, like the Hulk is just off camera. Like you maybe get like his fist or
Yeah.
like his foot
Yep.
is leaping away or something. Yeah.
Bunch of broken shit.
Yeah.
The most we'll do is maybe a bit of a green eye reflection in Banner in the mirror. That's about it. That's as far as we're going.
Or you just take a scene from the Eric Bana film, and it's just a picture of like a field, and it's just the Hulk's shadow because he's jumping real high. You'd be like, "Yep, there we go." It's
Or
just the Hulk's
do a close up
silhouette.
of Ross's mustache falling off as he turns into red, because
Yeah.
it has to go somewhere or he gets sucked into his skin or something,
Falls out like feathers. Yeah.
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 Let's fix that plot hole.
Oh yeah, big time.
I keep hearing that the Sam Wilson Captain America movie is pretty much going to be like the next Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah, with
When you-
Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross.
Yep, and they're bringing back Liv Tyler as Betsy.
I
Or
saw
Betty.
that Liv's coming back as Betsy's out. Or yeah.
Yeah, like that's how Marvel had to get around not being able to use the Hulk, just shove him
Yeah.
in other movies, But
Danny came up with an idea, which I love it, but I think it might be too deep of a cut. But Slee Stack mashup night,
Land of the
my God.
Lost, how is that a deep cut?
Land of the Lost. I mean, come on. Do you know Land of the Lost that doesn't have Will Ferrell in it?
Of course.
Okay, I just
Do I
want to
have
make
a
sure.
Land of the Lost night?
Well, okay, listen. They rebooted it. You have the original, and then they rebooted it in the 90s.
And it still sucked.
Oh, of course it did. I mean,
Oh, that
it
kid
sucked
show
from the
version?
beginning,
Yeah,
but
that's-
Yeah.
that was
yeah.
I used to have nightmares about those Slee Stacks when I was a kid. Those fuckers.
Oh, that was crazy. I would scream at the TV because it was the whole thing of why are you going? They only come out at night, and you decide to go into their fucking cave at 15 to dusk. Whatever it is can wait until morning.
Nobody listened to Chaka.
Man.
Actually, so not a big Kevin Smith fan, but the favorite joke that he did, I'm blanking on which movie it was. But it was Will Ferrell of all that thing too. But when they named him Marshall, Will, and Holly, and he was a U.S. Marshal, I was like, oh, that was good.
Was that Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
I think it was, yeah, because it was a bit more,
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, when the minute he said his name, I'm like, fuck, that's good, and I hate the fact that I like this joke.
It's funny, but nobody needs to know that I think it's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
just that one joke.
honestly, at that point, it was more Will Ferrell than Kevin Smith. I didn't like Will Ferrell because everyone thought he was a great ad-libber, and he's really not. He takes direction,
Yeah.
but he's just, his ad-libbing is awful.
Did you ever see what was that movie he did? Stranger Than Fiction?
Yes.
Yep.
That's when I was like, okay, he can act and he can take direction. So stop having him try to be an ad-libbing comedian, please.
Right.
Because he is funny when he gets good direction and is reined in.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed that movie because it was a step outside of what he normally does.
Oh, yeah.
And then
it was his Truman Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But
Talladega Nights killed me. I can't watch that without laughing my ass off for the whole thing.
And Thomas has to leave us for tonight, so sorry. Early
I'm
night
sorry.
for tonight.
That's
hey,
some funny
listen,
shit.
if you ain't first to go, you're last.
Exactly. Shake and bake.
At least you didn't go as stepbrothers.
I've never seen that.
Hey, you don't say that.
Actually, the one moment in history that the two of them could have done greatness, they dropped the fucking ball.
Step Brothers, you think so?
No, Bewitched.
Oh.
Because had they had just halfway through the movie replaced Will Ferrell with John C. Reilly and not addressed it. Yeah, exactly. Rob's reaction right there is how the entire world would have gone like, oh, fuck. Because they would have done the Dick York, Dick Sargent swap.
Dick
Right
York,
in the-
Dick
right in the middle of the
Sergeant
movie.
York.
and not made any fucking reference to it, and just have John C. Reilly finish the movie out. That would have been a stroke of comedic genius that they never did.
That was Nicole Kidman, right?
Mm-hmm.
She played Samantha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have a Tabitha in that movie?
I honestly, I don't know. I didn't see it, or didn't see all of it. I couldn't finish it.
You stopped it. I'm a Clippers fan. Yeah, that's I don't know. There's a lot of there was, a lot of we're gonna take this random TV show and try and make it into a movie, and just sometimes it just doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
Name me a time it does work.
I was
They
thinking.
did a lot of those.
Oh wait,
They're on-
Starsky and Hutch. I enjoyed Starsky and Hutch.
You know what? 21 Jump Street. I thought that was a funny movie. I
And
didn't hate it.
yeah, and that was another trend where they were taking the serious movies and making a comedy movie or a serious
Yeah.
show,
Right.
making comedy
True,
movies.
true.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm guilty with the whole Starsky and Hutch thing. I thought it was very funny, even though I grew up watching Starsky and Hutch and liked the show. But
Well, yeah, but they was it Snoop Dogg Huggy Bear?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm a sucker for Ben Stiller. I mean, I love
yeah.
I love Zoolander
Okay.
and Zoolander 2. I mean,
Yeah.
objectively
day-
bad movie.
The other day, I think it was Ben Stiller released his screen test for Encino Man.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, he was originally playing Link, and
Mhm.
the guy from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead was playing Sean Astin's role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, they did the right thing by casting who they casted. Sean Astin plays the perfect
Yeah.
straight man to Pauly Shore's, goofy bullshit.
Right, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and Brendan Fraser is just, mwah, chef's kiss.
I'm surprised now that there's, the whole Brendan Fraser Renaissance. I wouldn't be surprised to see a sequel to Encino Man way too late. Like everything
Yeah,
else.
I hope they don't, but I'm sure Pauly Shore's knocking on everyone's fucking door.
Well,
and saying,
they set it up at the end because he had a girl. There was the chick cave, the guy's wife or whatever.
Mhm.
Every
So-
Saturday morning, Brendan Fraser's phone rings. Hey,
buddy.
Buddy.
you want to do it? You want to do a sequel, buddy?
I'm about to go wheeze the Jew.
Oh man, the dude that worked in the 7-Eleven. I hope he's still alive if they're gonna do
Oh.
that movie again. 'cause
No,
he
we
still
didn't
needs to
do
be-
no,
it.
he's in the
No,
yeah.
Mr. Stoney.
Like,
How many minutes for the burrito? 1 minute, 2 minutes.
the greatest Brendan Fraser movie. We're gonna go down the Brendan Fraser hole here. Well, that doesn't sound right, but anyway, we're gonna do it anyway. Airheads.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
By
so
far.
good, so good. Man.
Okay,
I
I'm
love that movie.
glad we're not gonna get into an argument about that because I
Oh no, I love that movie.
I didn't want to
love that
spend the
movie.
rest of the show telling you how wrong you are.
I ain't
Yeah.
farting on no snare drum.
Any movie that's going to showcase, anything that's going to have Lemmy in it already wins for me. But
Has Lemmy in it saying, I masturbated all
No,
the time.
Lemmy was.
no, he's
I was
the
the
editor of the high
editor
school
of
newspaper.
You're right, newspaper,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Forgot. It was, shit, who was
I
the
was
master?
editor of my high school newspaper. So
Yeah.
great.
I play D&D constantly.
Oh. Shit.
Well,
Yeah,
they
I love
also
it.
make that joke like when they send the record contract guy up there. Isn't it Judd Hirsch?
I'm sorry, from what?
Not Judd Hirsch. Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson.
Judd
yeah,
Nelson, yeah, he was the record.
yeah, that's
exec.
right.
So he did that such a douchebag so well.
Oh my God, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then was it Harold Ramis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
cop. Yeah. Cop.
Who would win in a fight? Lemmy or God?
Well, remember his first failure was David Lee Roth and and,
what side
Sam
did you
Hagen.
take in the Van Halen war? Yep.
Yeah.
He's a cop. He's a cop. Oh man,
Yeah, that movie was great.
Oh, it's awesome.
yeah, that's a monthly watch for me.
Yeah.
Who did the actual music for that movie?
Oh no, he sang his song. That's why it's so bad. He's so
Oh,
flat.
really?
Yeah, he sang. That's
Okay.
why it's
I
so
thought
flat.
someone else did it for the movie. Like,
Well, I mean for the soundtrack, but if you have the soundtrack, which I do, they have the actual version from the movie in it too.
The soundtrack of that movie is fantastic.
Oh, it's fucking gold, dude.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's so good. Yeah, one of the best.
But yeah,
I feel
Giants-
like they, like the characters that they based themselves on. It was almost a super group of like.
Oh
the
yeah,
90s.
yeah, because each one was slightly different from a different type of band. Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
Adam Sandler was straight up from like, Limp Bizkit drummer.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and Steve Buscemi was full on like,
Rex Brown from Pantera.
yeah.
Yeah.
He even had like the facial hair and the hair down and everything. We're all in here. We got all kinds of beer. We're having a party.
The fucking hot sauce and the squirt gun.
Dude, David Arquette in that movie with the spiked bleach hair.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
What does she measure? What does she measure on the Clydesdale scale?
Yeah.
That's how many Clydesdales it takes to rip your face off.
Rip her off my face.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's a great. Yeah, that I can see why you watch that movie once a month.
But, yeah, and it's got actually a lot of names in it. I mean, before they really blew up too, or when they were coming back. But Michael McCain in it as the radio manager, station manager.
Yeah.
So good too. And fucking
Joe Mantegna.
of course. But no, yeah, I mean that. Of course, I was gonna get that, but no. Who is the dude from Seinfeld?
Oh, Michael Richards.
Michael Richards, yeah.
Yep.
Oh
yep.
yeah.
But
They
I mean,
give him a gun and he's crawling through the vents. And,
yeah, I mean, but that was like at a pretty big point in Seinfeld, right? I mean, Seinfeld was
It
still
was,
active.
yeah.
Yeah, and they pulled him on that one.
yeah.
But yeah, and then Chris Farley.
Oh yeah, Chris Farley is in that.
Oh
isn't he?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Was he like a security guard or something?
No, he was a rookie cop.
Yeah. That's
The
right.
security cop is Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Right. Oh
'cause-
yeah. Right.
Yeah, because he was working with Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson was a veteran. Who was like just so done with this shit. It was. I mean, he was doing such a great Danny Glover of like, okay,
I'm too
this
old
shit's
for this
happening
shit.
again. Yeah. But he's a uni. Yeah. Like I say, yeah, it's just for the moment that movie starts, I'm just giddy and laughing the entire time.
Oh yeah, that movie's great.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys.
Make it 4.
Are you threatening me? So what? Are you doing like a Ronin, Thomas, or? Are you
No,
just
this
doing
is just straight up, like kind of 80s style Ninja Turtle, but with a lot more detail.
Oh, nice. Good call.
Right now, it looks like nothing, but it'll get there.
Yeah, his Ronin will be in the what?
The original one he did.
The original's also in there, the Laird one, but the actual Ronin one he did, the one where it's kind of kneeling.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, all right. When you
Was
said
it
original-
like perched on a pipe or something like that?
No, he's kind of kneeling.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
Which, by the way, the digital version for all the backers, the digital version of the book goes out to everybody tomorrow.
Oh, really? Sweet.
Yep. Yep. So everybody will have the digital copy tomorrow. Waiting for everyone in the book to make sure they got their names.
Good call. Good call. So now that you've run out of turtle colors, what are you doing next volume? Seven.
I know. It caught me out
Oh.
flat-footed. I'm trying to think.
I get a surprise round.
Honestly, I didn't think we were going to get to volume 4. That's why I pumped out the 2 colors this one.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you tried to do that black one last time that never really materialized, the Onyx cover or whatever.
Yeah, it did not work.
Yeah. I mean, you could always try and do black next time and just have it be like Ronin. Since
I
you've
doubt
got,
it was supposed to be that matte black and it wasn't. So I
right.
don't trust the printer to do it.
The obscurities ran into those same problems.
Yeah.
They were all glossy, and then they reprinted for number 3, and then it was like, oh, they're still glossy. But then they were like, oh, here's some matte ones.
Well, the problem is it's very hard to do because you've got, I mean, even if it's matte, you're still dropping all the ink on it.
Right.
Because it takes all the ink to make black. So you've now filled up all the space between, the paper material. So it's going to be very difficult to put anything on there.
For sure.
I don't know. We'll we may leave it up, pick a vote, for a color. Because, at some point we're going to run out of colors.
I mean, yeah, depending on what you're doing, like, I mean, sure, I kind of guessed the turtles thing ahead of time because it was kind of obvious, but
yeah, I mean, you saw where I was going with it,
yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of other franchises where the colors are so distinctive that,
and it probably kind of lean into whatever is, kind of running with the show too.
Right.
I mean, hell, we could do a pink one, do a little punk. Go red. No, we already did red. Yeah. Like I said, I just had to figure it out,
But I mean, like, yeah, we already did red and stuff, but like you said, like, you've only got what, 10 orange covers left from volume 1? How many blue blue covers you got left?
Less than 10.
Yeah. I've got like two or three myself.
10 orange, less than 10 in the blue. I have, after Michael Pena gets all the greens that he's ordered, I will have probably about 12 greens left.
I told Pena that he just needs to take all the greens that he ordered and all the purples and just do one giant Hulk piece.
That's, yeah. He was talking yeah, he's saying the greens, red, and purple all work for the Hulk. I'm like, yeah, I guess they do. You're right.
And then you get the white one in there, just landscape style, as the Red Hulk's mustache.
There you go.
Just draw the mustache on the white blank.
Just put it up, put it down, put it up, put it down.
That'll be really interesting though to see Harrison Ford, in Hulk form. I could kind of see it.
As long as he shows up. I mean, he had an interview where he's like really interested in acting because, of course, now at his age, he's not getting called as much.
Right.
So that's why he did 2 TV shows, and so, yeah, I just I want him to be excited and not give a whatever the fucking name of the second movie in this last Star Wars trilogy. I don't remember the name of it, but that level
Last
of
Jedi.
Yeah, that level of performance.
I don't know, man. Like as much hate as it gets, I preferred Last Jedi to Rise of Skywalker.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's not a high bar.
I was about to say you could trip over that fucking bar.
That's not a high bar.
It's like saying this turd didn't stink as much as that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the corn I ate this week didn't tear my asshole nearly as much as it did last week.
If they had just had a cohesive plan since the beginning, I mean, it would have made sense. But and then they tried to use the excuse that the original trilogy didn't have a cohesive plan to begin with, and I don't know.
No, if they just got together and did a little plan, and they would have decided it wasn't good enough and just trashed the whole thing.
Yeah,
I can respect that.
But instead, they just said, "Hey, how about we repeat the first and third movie, and then the second movie we just shit all over all the."
If they had just gone with Darth Jar Jar, if they had just gone with the Darth Jar Jar idea,
yep. Yeah, and again, I feel bad that I'm part of the hate that caused him to, balk on that. But I really wish Lucas would have stuck to his guns on it.
Have you been?
That was too good to be true.
Are you following The Mandalorian, Stephen?
I watched the first 2 seasons. This third one sucks. I can't get through it. It's awful.
It's tough, man. Like I am a Jack Black fan, and I found that one a whole hard bunch of shit to swallow. Like that was, I'll be honest, like I love the idea of his character. I love these reformed these reformed imperial people who aren't reformed, and he's literally created this decadent planet. You know what I mean? This or he's the ruler of this decadent planet, and I don't know, man. Erica was like, man, it's like this whole episode was spent just trying to figure out what they wanted it to be about, and then it was over. And, and then it was just like, there's just, I don't know, man. I want to like it, but it's kicking the shit out of me this time.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I am way
Yeah.
behind.
Was that
on
the
I
most
watched-
recent episode?
Yeah.
The most recent one, yeah.
My
And there's
biggest
good things about it.
problem-
There's for sure good things about it, but like,
Name,
don't know, man.
Name one.
well, it's difficult. Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd. Christopher
Difficult, for
Lloyd.
sure.
Christopher Lloyd was pretty cool in this most
Oh, that's
latest
awesome.
episode. But the thing is, with the guest stars of that caliber and them just shoving guest stars into episodes,
Mhm.
it kind of takes you out of the Star Wars universe. You know
It
what I'm
feels
saying?
it feels a
I
bit
can see that.
stunty sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stunt acting, it feels like
Yeah.
sometimes. Like, I don't know. I don't know anything about Lizzo. I don't have any issue with her at all. I didn't understand. I don't know. That whole thing was just weird. That whole episode was weird. I
Yeah.
weirdly, of them all so far, I didn't mind the weird one that was really focused on that one dude, trying I think it was episode 2, was it? The whole story is about this reformed imperial guy with this plan, this technology.
Oh, the geneticist.
the genetic, yeah, that guy, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't mind that episode because it was different, but I don't know what it had to do with the Mandalorian.
Well,
And it
Well,
was,
see, that's
it
the
was-
thing is that geneticist is the one who you remember in the first season with the client, and they were taking blood
Right?
from
Yes, yeah.
Grogu to try and clone him. I think this is Filoni and Favreau's attempt to connect what's going on now to the cloning that Palpatine was doing in the sequel trilogy.
Oof.
They're trying to legitimize the sequel trilogy
Oh god.
by putting elements into the shows.
Yeah, I wonder who sent down that doctrine. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, honestly, I'm pumped to see the Rebels in live action.
Yeah.
Seeing Sabine and Hera and everything.
On the Ahsoka trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's weird for me. Somebody made the comment that they showed Sabine and she had her her long purple hair or whatever, and then you see Hera, but Hera is played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and she was Ramona Flowers and Scott Pilgrim,
Mm-hmm.
who
Right,
had
yes.
purple hair. I thought that was kind of strange.
Little typecasting there. Yeah.
But
Speaking of,
it's-
hey, I'm gonna spin you on that real quick. This may be a reason for me to get Netflix here, but Scott Pilgrim the animated series,
yes,
and they're
Yes,
bringing back the entire cast to voice cast it.
yep.
Oh,
I was
really?
just gonna
Super
say
smart.
that. Yeah.
Netflix will get my money when that happens for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is I was away from Netflix for so long, and what brought me back was when, I didn't end up liking it as much as I thought I would, but when they announced, what is it, Revelations, Master Universe Revelations, like I know you didn't like it,
It's
but
awful.
the voice cast, like that's what got me to check it out. Like get
No, I
Netflix
can
back
see
for
that.
this,
Yeah.
because that voice cast was huge.
It was.
That had to be one of the last things Kevin Conroy did before he passed was
Probably, yeah.
Merman. That definitely could have been a lot better. And they hyped it up a lot, and then I was like, "Oh, this is going to be awesome," and then it kind of disappointing. I don't know.
Probably the
They
kindest
tried-
thing you've said all day.
The kindest thing I've said all day. Thing I say, Dan said the Mandalorian lore is cool, but the guest stars suck. I get why they have guest stars, but like I was talking to the guys the other day, like when you have big guest stars in there, it takes away from the Star Wars universe. Like,
Yeah.
what was it? Daniel Craig was in The Last Jedi as a stormtrooper because he said that his face would take people out of the fantasy of Star
Yeah,
Wars.
I thought that was cool. That like I didn't even know he was in it until I'd already seen it. Like it was already over. And
Which shows you the pure motivation of having those people as guest stars.
Right.
Some
Yeah,
people,
right.
let me turn in and see. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the story. It's like, had Jack Black and Lizzo been in for 3 of the episodes, then it'd be worth to
Right.
say, okay, hey, Jack Black and Lizzo are guests.
yeah,
stars.
like I mean, Jack Black is
Make-
great in serials. Like he could. I mean, that character could turn out to be. Of course, he's an reformed Imperial. He could. There's lots of things that they could do with that. Because he could pull it off. He could do it. But
Mhm.
it was just Jack Black playing a classic Jack Black character. Like that's.
I
Yeah,
saw somebody say.
Yeah.
I saw somebody say that they should have had Kyle Gass instead of Christopher Lloyd.
Instead of
That's
Lizzo,
funny.
No,
that
instead
would
of,
have been funny. Just pure.
instead of
tenacious
Lizzo would have been funny, but instead of the Christopher Lloyd character.
I think instead of Lizzo would be funnier.
Yeah.
Well, you saw all the last episode of the whole no context spoilers. Everybody's been sharing that scene from School of Rock with the girl with the big voice.
Oh yeah. I heard they're coming back and doing like a
Anniversary
reunion type thing with that. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I like that movie. I don't care.
other than Jack Black, the only person who really hit it big was Miranda Cosgrove.
No, but I think it's pretty cool that all those kids stayed involved with music, though. Like
Oh,
they
yeah,
were,
for
they were
sure.
musicians first, and
Like,
that
I was about to
was
say, yeah, they hired musicians to play those parts.
that's
Yeah,
what I
they
mean. Like
recruited
that's
him from a school or something.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
made that such a special movie in that way, because then you're able to capture really, unplanned, innocent acting, which is kind of the best, sometimes the most successful stuff. Like, but yeah, the fact that all those people were still involved with music and like they still jam, like they still
Mhm.
they still jam with Jack Black. That's pretty fucking cool. Like,
Yeah, they were real musicians. It wasn't a Monkees
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it was the Beatles.
Like, I remember when the first movie came out, my local radio station, they brought that Zach, the kid who played Zach, the main guitarist kid.
Yeah.
They brought him on with Slash, and him and Slash were just dueling back and forth on this
Oh, neat.
show. And
that's
I'm like,
pretty cool.
this kid's like, 9-10 years old, and he's tearing it up with Slash. Like,
A poor kid, his
Yeah.
life's never going to get bigger than that moment.
right. Like,
Shit,
I
don't make a
played guitar
kid
for
peak at
years,
9.
right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, we all know. We've all seen what child stardom does when you peak at 9 and then don't do anything else for the rest of your life, and then in 40 years they bring you back and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play this character?"
No, but I do need the check, so I will. Yes.
Right. Yep.
Have you guys
That's
been watching Ted Lasso?
Yes. Yeah, I've been watching the 3rd season. God, it's good.
So good.
Still don't
I've
have
not
Apple
seen the
TV,
3rd
man.
season yet. But
I feel like that last episode was kind of a turning point, like a pivotal episode.
Well, yeah, I mean it's their midpoint, so they always have that
Yeah.
at the midpoint. But like, 'cause it's funny because like that, I was bringing up the whole real musicians thing because when they brought in Danny, he's actually the only real soccer player on the.
Oh, is that right?
Okay.
Yeah, he's the only footballer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? His acting kind of reveals that in a way. It's so, again, it's that innocent, pure thing that's just like,
Yeah,
but
and
he's
that's-
naturally kind of funny. That's pretty cool. If that's the case.
But that's always why they keep him kind of limited to his lines and stuff, and he just delivered it up. Everything, just bring it
Yeah,
up. He's one of my
exactly.
favorite characters because he's just.
Oh yeah,
so,
he's great.
he's so up all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you can't shake him.
my face scored a goal.
We were talking about Blue Beetle earlier. I don't know who it was. It might have been you, Vance. Somebody said that Jason Sudeikis is supposed to be playing Ted Cord.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, that would be
That would be awesome.
interesting.
That'd be great.
Like, I don't know if he's got a full part in the movie or if he just.
I mean,
shows up
I'm sure they're
briefly,
going to
but-
drop Ted Cord in there as an Easter egg type thing. Like he may have a line or two or a scene.
Right.
But I would say Ted Sudeikis is perfect
Oh yeah.
because
I think it's
Ted
gonna be an
Cord
end
was an
credit
optimist. I'm sorry, what, Chris?
Right.
I think it's gonna be an end credit scene.
Oh,
Yeah,
or
that's
that.
what I
Oh,
was
yeah, you're
thinking.
right. You know what? That would be
It'll
him
be
showing
a
up to
post-credits
help
thing.
Jaime, get his shit together type thing. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
supposed to train him. That's how it's supposed to go. So I feel like
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's how it's gonna go. That he's gonna show up at the end, and
Oh, so for a wasted scene because this isn't part of the new universe.
No, it is.
That kind of sucks.
It's a loose connector.
Is it actually being continued on, or is James Gunn acts this like he's axed all the other stuff? Because all the stuff that's currently coming out isn't part of James Gunn's universe. He stated that.
Well, he said that Flash was going to soft reboot.
Well, yeah,
and
he's
Blue
using
Beetle
that
would be
because
part of
it's
the
Flash.
universe, but not connected.
Yeah, he's using Flash as
Yeah,
Flashpoint
Flashpoint,
anyway,
yeah.
so that's how he's going to connect for the soft anyway. So he can tack on whatever he wants at the end of that. They're going to reshoot it, and that will be our end credit scenes on the Flashpoint to start the James Gunn universe.
Yeah, we're already seeing. I saw an article the other day that was like James Gunn was quoted as saying that a Marvel DC film universe crossover is inevitable, but it's way too early to do anything.
Yeah, it's way
about
too.
it.
They got to do so much fucking world building in DC right now.
Yeah.
But he was saying like it's more possible than ever now with him running DC, and I don't know. We'll see.
Have you guys seen the Doom that came to Gotham?
Nope,
No, I
I
haven't
totally
seen
forgot
it.
that
No,
it came out.
not
I need
yet.
to watch that tonight.
Is it one that you have to buy, or is it like available?
He's doing HBO Max yet?
HBO Max has it. Yeah.
I don't
And
have
you have it?
Oh
All
shit!
right,
I don't
guess
have
I'll
that.
move
That's
on.
too bad.
Dude, when I got HBO Max back, I spent like 4 days just watching DC animated movies.
Oh, that's
Yep.
the thing. Yeah, they make. I often think that that's just the direction they should focus on. Is not worry about a live action universe. And just
Exactly.
do really, really good fucking animated stuff. Like
100%. I agree.
Well, the
Well,
last
I'm sorry.
episode of the Titans come back next week to finish that out. Because it was like supposed to be the final season, and they split it into 2 parts or whatever. So we'll see. But yeah, I've always agreed that DC's animation is miles above their live action.
They don't pull as many punches, and I think it helps with a lot of their characters. The few things that I've seen have kind of caught me by surprise at how good they've been. But yeah, I heard that Doom that came to Gotham is pretty good.
Oh no, it is actually a purchase.
Oh, it is okay.
You gotta purchase it.
Yep. Because I'm looking right now because I was gonna watch it tonight, but it's Voodoo or Prime Video, place like that.
How much is it on Prime Video? Like $30 or whatever.
15.
20.
15, eh?
15 US, so whatever that's gonna.
So that'll be like 700 Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
How have you not memorized the exchange rate by now?
Oh,
It
changes on
changes.
the daily. It changes on the daily, man. Yeah. I remember that was the funny joke. That was my first big successful show many years ago. My first ever doing New York Comic Con. It was the one time in history of my life that I remember where the Canadian dollar was not only at par with the States, but it was actually a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And I just happened to have a great weekend in New York where I made something like $1,100 in cash. And I came back across the border and converted it to $800 Canadian.
Oh,
and
shit.
it was the only time in the history of the world where that's ever fucking happened. But that it happened to me that day. And I think within like a week, our dollar was back underneath where
I would say yes. You
usually-
should have sat on that money for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have. Oh, I wasn't living in a world where I could sit on any money in those days, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, speaking of Batman animation, real quick, I'm sure we've talked about it before, but I just want to make sure. Have you all watched Batman Ninja?
Oh
I haven't seen that yet.
yeah.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
No.
do yourself, if you can see it without paying for it, just watch it, and it's up there with Velocipaster for me.
Really?
It's so batshit crazy. It is out of control.
Yeah. Yeah, I
mean-
expected something completely different, and then when I watched it, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, the only thing I will say about it is there's a mech made entirely out of monkeys.
What?
Live
Man,
monkeys.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Somehow conjoined together to make a mech. This
And
movie is
controlled
so
by the Joker, probably.
not gonna say anymore. It's out of control.
All right.
Yeah, you need to watch Batman Ninja, and it's not something you can like casually watch. You have to pay attention because shit changes so fast, so quick in this movie.
I need to watch that again."
Is it subtitled or dubbed or?
Oh, I mean, it's you know, it's an I forget the director of it, but he's a big manga director. So, but it's all English. I mean, it's made for the U.S. audience. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but it's just so fucking weird, dude.
The way you're talking about it makes me think of Afro Samurai. If it's anything like that, I'm in.
It's the
was
guy
good.
who did the guy who did JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like that's another thing. Like DC makes great animated movies, but they also take risks with some of their animated movies. Like, oh, we're gonna do a movie about this, and it's just like it ends up the animation ends up being so good that people end up liking the movie.
Yeah, there's some of those, but there's some where they've just animation was dog. Like they had that whole string of like the war timeline, I guess you want to call it, because it started with Justice League War, and
Yeah.
that just looked the animation that was dog shit. Like
Mm.
everyone had those weird knuckles,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
and you
I
know,
mean, I don't know, man. Like for me, nothing will ever be as bad as the animation we got for Turtles Batman.
oh, first, whoa! Don't talk shit about Turtles Batman. That or Batman versus Turtles. I love that fucking movie.
It was great. The Shredder Batman fight makes
Oh
the
my
entire
god,
film.
that was
Makes
awesome.
the entire film.
But
You know?
no, I mean, there's so much good in that. I mean, like fucking Michelangelo just being, fucking amazed that there's blimps in Gotham,
Yep.
and just like, and then of course, like every time he turns around, there's another superhero or supervillain with gadgets that's just blowing his fucking mind.
Well, see, that's what's great about that is Mikey acts just like a teenager would.
Yeah.
You know, people are like surprised, like when they watch the new trailer for the movies. Oh, they're finally making them teenagers. I was like, well, they've gradually been doing that. It was just each version was how teenagers would be during the era that version of the Turtles was released.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know?
but
Probably a little.
I mean, like, I love the fact that Batman and Robin, Damian Robin, just absolutely house the fucking Turtles because they should. I mean,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then how I think it's Roth. I think Roth finally gets up on Damian by just sitting on him. Yeah, because he's just like, oh, he's this 12-year-old kid who's just bouncing all over like, fucking Sonic the Hedgehog on cocaine. Let me just put all my weight on him. Just and so Damien's just squashed on the ground. Fucking love that movie.
I wasn't big on the way they drew the turtles.
If you look, that's how they were drawing the turtles during the Nickelodeon cartoon at the time. I didn't care for it either because like Donatello looked like he had a thumb for a head.
Well, yeah, and then the classic, either huge overbite or huge underbite.
Yeah, or a gap in his tooth or something like
Yeah,
that. And
but that is how the turtles were being drawn at the time on the actual cartoon.
The gap in Donnie's teeth.
It's funny because nowadays when you get instructions from IDW when you're doing turtle stuff, you get cleared like do not put a gap if you draw Donatello. Do not put a gap in his teeth. Do not give him an overbite. Like there's a couple of things that are listed that I thought was kind of interesting.
I don't know. I'm kind of over the Donatello with glasses or goggles look.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good in some pieces, and I guess it really just comes down to the composition of the piece.
Yeah.
Depends how you draw it, I guess.
Right,
Yeah, for sure.
right. Like I've seen Camillo do some with the goggles, and the perspective and stuff looks right.
Yeah.
I'm just over like it's like they put the Ghostbuster goggles on him and everything nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ever since the Michael Bay movie, it was either
Oh yeah, yeah.
broken glass, eyeglasses on his face or some scientific night vision goggles on his head. And it was just like, I don't know, it seems like pandering, like, oh, we just added this so Donatello's a nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some of that for sure. It's a fairly classic device, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, anytime you get a chance to do your own take on a classic character, there's going to be pitfalls and there's going to be successes, and I always try to stay the original look of a lot of those characters because that's just kind of how I prefer to consume them as well,
Right.
But yeah, having a chance to design a character or do a fresh take on a character, you can create some lasting stuff that happens. And I mean, if someone told me to draw the turtles how I see them, it would probably still be some version of how I've always seen them, originally. But yeah, I don't know. Tricky thing to want to redesign those characters. But the goggles thing, I agree, gets used an awful lot.
I mean, it was cool in the beginning because it was a different take than what we were used to, but I don't know, it kind of gets overplayed. And like now they've put him in eyeglasses in the new movie, and it's just like,
right, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
he's a nerd. Come on.
Nerd! I don't know. Like, I'm really hoping that Seth Rogen doesn't use his regular voice as Bebop. Because that was
That
one
would
of
be
my.
so weird. Yeah.
I mean, he used his regular voice as Donkey Kong in the Mario movie. Like literally, he used his regular voice, and when Donkey Kong laughed, it was that regular, stupid Seth Rogen.
Oh,
laugh.
that Seth Rogen laugh,
And it took me out of the movie. And I'm like, come on, man! If you can't do a voice, don't do our iconic characters. Which makes me worry about Bebop, and it's just going to be Seth Rogen's voice.
He's never gonna not do his voice though. Like
Yes.
even in like Kung Fu Panda, the Mantis is still his voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't think you're gonna win that battle.
Yeah. He could just be a person who can't do voices too.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I heard Seth Rogen was doing a Turtles movie, animated or otherwise, until we found out, I was like, my immediate first thought was, oh, we're getting Bebop and Rocksteady. Give me Craig Robinson and Danny McBride. That would have been perfect casting.
Oh, that would have been great, man.
Whether live action or animated. Because I was just thinking of all the people that were in the Judd Apatow movies. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty, especially like if they did. I could see them do live action too, but they kept up the whole wrestler playing Rocksteady thing.
Oh, because it's Cena, right?
Yeah, his head is really, really oversized.
It's a weird design.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm hoping we get a full trailer by SDCC. Because it's coming out, beginning of August? I know.
Yeah, it's like August 4th.
Coming out.
Yeah, August.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's going to be like every other Turtle movie. I feel like they're going to retell the origin for the first 5-10 minutes of the movie. And
we know there's baby turtle figures, so yeah, we think that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm behind in my last Ronin, but I've been meaning to take a shot at drawing the new turtles, the new generation of turtles. I haven't seen them as adults yet, though, because I've still only read issue 1 of the Lost Years.
I mean, we've only had issue 2. They're still not adults.
They're still not adults yet.
There's it's the way it's set up is it's 3 years between issues.
Oh, okay.
As far as that goes, so they age 3 years between issues, so they'll be aged up by the time the series is over, and they'll actually be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I gotcha. Okay.
So, but yeah, I was talking to you about that the other day. Like, when we did coaster night last week, and people were just getting extra coasters left and right, and we ended up, wrapping up a little early. I almost was like, "Hey, Mike, give me one of the new turtles. I don't care which
Yeah.
one it is."
No, I'll give him a shot for sure. I got to get some better reference, I think, but I know it's out there. But yeah, I think they're pretty cool. I like the designs. I like the, is it 2 males and 2 females, right? I think that's how
Yeah.
Yep.
they're
Yep.
doing it. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like especially like some of the homages Ben is coming up with for his covers, like doing the Secret of
Turtles
the
2 cover.
Ooze. Well, the one coming out for issue 3 where it looks like the old bed
Bed
sheets.
sheets. Yeah.
Yeah, the old pillowcases and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I feel like each one of the new turtles is like indicative of one of the old ones. They each
Yeah.
have traits,
Have they started talking or revealing anything about weapons? Like, did they have any iconic weapons yet?
See,
Or
this is the thing: is I don't think that there will be specific weapons or bandana colors.
okay,
Now they may all have their own look, like costume-wise, like cloaks or something like that. But I feel like
They have
the
different
only
builds,
reason,
right?
well,
yeah,
yeah,
they've got completely different builds, or like the whole different turtles.
Yeah, different
yeah,
type
they
turtle
all
dude.
look completely different. But
I want one to go full John Wick and Gung Fu.
like what's that movie? Equilibrium.
Equilibrium, yeah. I figured
Tetragrammaton
John Wick was an easier reference, but yeah.
Oh, I love Equilibrium. That movie was great.
That was
Oh, yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was, but it just got so shadowed
Yet
by
another
nature.
movie where Sean Bean dies.
Mm-hmm. Add it to the
Yeah.
list, baby.
I'm telling you, he dies in every movie because it's the universe trying to reconcile the fact that his name should rhyme and doesn't. It should have been Scene Bean.
Scene Bean.
If your name's supposed to rhyme, no, it's Sean.
Yeah, I don't really care about the first name part. I just want to meet him so I can call him Mr. Bean.
Yeah, he just snaps.
You give him a teddy bear.
Oh, I actually want him to respond with kind of just a Rowan Atkinson kind of head move. Yeah.
And they did a Mr. Bean movie all those years ago too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think there
Yeah,
was
a couple
movie.
a
Mr.
couple
Bean
of them.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did an animated series, which isn't great.
I don't remember the animated series.
It was BBC.
Yeah.
I bought the DVDs, and yeah, it's not worth it because you really need Rowan Atkinson's facial expressions to make it.
You do.
Oh yeah.
Although the art style was pretty cool.
Oh,
It's just,
yeah.
you need him though. You just need him. Like that's the whole thing.
Well, that's the thing is back in those days they just made cartoons out of whatever movie was in theaters at a time. We got Beetlejuice the cartoon, we got Bill and Ted cartoon.
But this wasn't a
yeah.
Saturday morning one. This is still.
Yeah. I don't know. The original Mr. Bean episodes are the best.
Oh yeah, they're great. I used to like him on Blackadder too. I thought
Oh
I
yeah.
was just about to say
hilarious.
Blackadder's the best.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I was raised on all that British
Yeah,
TV,
man.
stuff like that. Like I would talk to, we'd go over once a year as a family, and I would talk to my friends when I came back. Oh, you need to watch this; it's hilarious. And they'd look at me like, "Kind of weird English crap is that?" Like, first of all, it's not English. Don't insult me.
My favorite part of the Blackadder series is that he dies at the end of each season, and his character in the next season is in less of a political or wealth stance, but is smarter. So his character keeps getting smarter, but in a worse situation.
Yeah.
But the fact that his character dies at the end of every season is just great.
It was just so awesome. Lord Flashheart and all the
Oh,
amazing
God, fucking
side characters that are just so great.
Mhm. Woof.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lot of those early British shows. Like, I was a big fan of Young Ones.
Yep.
Oh, that show was awesome.
I've got the entire season on my Plex server if you need it.
I have the box set.
Yeah,
but
that's where I get.
yeah. Every time I brought that up, people didn't know what the hell I was talking about, and I'd be like, "It's the one with the guy from Drop Dead Fred," because that's all people knew at that time, unless you were from the area. I'm really surprised that Hollywood hasn't tried to reboot that yet.
Drop
Give
that
them a
Fred.
minute. They will.
They just haven't made their way around to it yet.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know complaining about movies just makes me feel older than I actually am, but
No, it just means you've got some form of taste to it.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, you're just asking for quality. That's all.
Yep.
Yep. I don't know, man.
But don't worry,
Some
if Drop
stuff.
Dead Fred was made by MGM, Amazon will be making it again.
Yeah, that's true. Amazon. For sure.
And they'll do a crossover with Lord of the Rings and Drop Dead Fred.
I don't know, man. I couldn't get through the first season of Rings of Power. I just could not. Like, I was so hyped for it, and
Did you
Sorry, I
watch
can't think of it.
oh shit, blank on the name of it, the Game of Thrones prequel?
House of the Dragon?
Yeah, House of Dragon, thank you, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it.
It's actually good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't
kind of
a big fan of the fact that there was a 3-year time jump every episode.
True.
Or like a
But
10-year
wait,
time jump
they're
every
doing the same thing as your fucking Turtles book and you're okay with it in the
Yeah,
Turtles.
I knew you were going to say that because I thought of it as I was saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, with
knew-
Mutant Turtles, 3 years is
As soon
cool.
as it
But
left my mouth, I was
political
like,
intrigue with dragons, not so much.
Yeah, I liked. Obviously, up until that horrible last season, I was a huge Game of Thrones fan.
Last two seasons
Like,
were garbage, man.
Yeah,
They
that's
deviated from the books when they ran out.
Yep. As soon as they deviated from the books, but I don't know whether it's going to happen, but I keep hearing there's a Jon Snow spinoff coming
I hope not. He was the
because
oh,
that'd probably be all original unless Martin decides to write a Jon Snow spinoff.
that show would be so fucking emo.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, they bring it up and then they stop talking about it.
Because
just
once they
Jon
bring it up,
Snow
everyone's
walking-
like, "Are you fucking serious?" Oh,
There'll be
no,
one
no,
guy,
we're
just
gonna-
the loudest guy, going, "No!"
Just Jon Snow and Ghost walking through the snow every episode.
and just pouting. Had a hot redhead, but then
I could have been king.
Had a hot blonde, but then I fucked that up.
Dude, she was your aunt.
I really do know nothing,
Yeah.
Jon Snow.
I'm Jon Snow. He is the Eeyore of the fucking Games of Thrones universe.
I don't want. I could have been king, but I don't want it.
I thought you sounded like Napoleon Dynamite.
God,
Shut. I'll do what I want. I'll watch the wall if I want. Stop it.
I was fine with John. not
Fuck, I
wanting
just
to
found
be
out that I
king.
could do a Napoleon Dynamite impression. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if I'm happy
It's
or
decent
sad.
too, man. It's decent. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Guess what character's showing up in the D&D this week?
I love that movie.
Oh my God, the
I
movie's
can't
awesome.
stand that flick.
Oh, really?
Oh, I mean, there's moments of it that are okay.
Wait, are you bringing Uncle Rico and Rex Kwon Do into Dicey this week?
I would say I'll have to watch it just so I can get Uncle Rico and so I can bring in the game mechanics for martial arts.
I bet you I can throw this football over that mountain.
Yeah.
Make a bet with Murqua. Like, Murray, I bet you can't throw this football over that mountain. I was like, you said you were You started working on this week's session without realizing that it's not this week; it's 2 weeks out.
Well, I figured after how half-assed I did this past session, I needed to really be up on my game for the next one.
Well, the last couple sessions have been really fun. Like some of our best work.
Yeah, well, I mean,
there's a
but
lot more interaction.
I got delayed after work, and I had a bunch of shit that
Right.
I had planned visually that I couldn't show you guys. So, but yes, this week will be a big week.
Murray
If-
said, "Pedro,
you
the
do-
X-Speak vendor."
If you do work Napoleon Dynamite content into that game, somebody has to make a save and throw or get hit in the face with a steak. That has to happen.
Well, we'll have one of the stable workers instead of having axe beaks, they'll have llamas.
Come get your dinner,
Napoleon, give me some of your tots.
dude. I felt so bad for my friend Tina after that movie came out because I was always like, "Tina, come get your dinner."
All right, so
That
I
was-
have to get one of
It was a
the
little
tagged artists to draw me a character that looks Napoleon Dynamite, but in the D&D world.
We'll just do okay. It's Ninja Turtles, Napoleon Dynamite. So
God,
That's
that would
awesome.
be just so painful. Like, like the turtles would go run off, and then the camera would follow them, and then have to spin back to see Napoleon Dynamite just, fucking bumblefuck shuffling his way. Oh, what? I want to go. Oh, gosh. Bebop. Oh, that's a dumb name. Oh, fine, I'll dance. Oh.
There already is a Napoleon Dynamite Turtles crossover.
Is there really?
wait, when?
Genghis Frog in the 2012 cartoon. It's the same voice actor.
Holy shit.
Oh, which it was John Heater? I didn't know that.
He pretty much plays
Wow.
it as Napoleon Dynamite too.
Have you ever heard him talk in real life? He's just
Yeah,
yeah,
Don't
Yeah.
he
be
doesn't
like-
have any other voice.
yeah,
Like,
he just slows his voice down just a little bit to do
he
Napoleon.
did some like romantic comedies or something after Napoleon Dynamite, and he was just playing the same character, but he was like, "Wow."
He doesn't. Yeah, he
Like-
talks a little faster and doesn't breathe as heavy, but it's same.
It's kind of like when Keanu Reeves did a bunch of comedies in the beginning after Bill and Ted, and he was always just that, "Whoa,"
Whoa.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, honestly, Ted is pretty much Napoleon Dynamite. I mean, just a little more enthusiastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Whoa.
Give me
Yeah.
some a freaking. What kind of gun did you use? A freaking elephant gun. Jeez.
Gosh.
Dude, can you imagine? Did you just do Napoleon Donatello? Turtle tried to recruit me because I'm pretty good with a bow staff. Right?
Perfect.
Yeah. When Donatello died in Last Ronin, Michelangelo went to go find John Hader.
Just Michelangelo and Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah,
He just starts picking up people who played the turtles in the past.
so there's your buddy comedy right there. Just the odd couple.
Holy crap, the turtles really exist. Yeah, but we're all dead except for me, so I'm trying to resurrect the team.
Gosh, that's a lot of work. I don't want to.
And he thinks the actors could do a very good job of these characters, and he goes and finds Steve Amell, and Steve Amell's like, "No."
Well, yeah, he
didn't
thinks
like
every
the way-"
actor's Daniel Day-Lewis, and puts in all the work to immerse themselves in the character.
method acting,
Mhm.
method acting of your turtles. He finds, he's like, find somebody like Johnny Knoxville who voiced Leo in the Bay movies.
Well, if you're
You're
gonna
like-
if you're gonna look for somebody who probably spent 6 months in the sewer to be a character, yeah, it would be nice.
That's funny.
Oh, Camilo, that is looking sweet, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
yeah. Those colors, those two pieces you did recently, like the turtles jumping down, and then you took the same poses, and you did the Ronin
Oh yeah,
with the ghost. That was really cool, like the mirror images or whatever.
yeah. Thanks, man.
I like how those two pieces like went alongside each other.
Yeah, was that a commission piece or was that for a cover?
No, that's just for fun.
Wow. Wish I
Yeah,
had your level of fun.
The pieces Camillo does for fun are great. Like the Wolverine raft piece that you did,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
black,
That,
white,
that
and
was.
red.
Yeah, I did a Donatello Beast as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, I must
Yeah.
have missed that one.
Yeah.
I'd really like to. I when you did that Mondo poster recreation with all the turtles, and then you did
Yeah.
the X-Men one after that. Like, I would love to get Camillo on Amalgam Night and do like an amalgam piece like that. You know, because you did Dark Claw in the past, right?
Yeah, I did.
I think you did like a bust or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. Yeah, that's a nice mix of classic Baxter. Like the classic Baxter colors was kind of almost a newer design.
Oh, real quick, going back to the Batman Turtles movie, that was probably my favorite rendition of Baxter. He was very Jeff Goldblum with
Yeah.
the delivery, but the lines they gave him with the whole, yeah, I'm not getting paid. Well, that's one more in the hostage category.
Yeah.
Uh,
The only reason like the Batman Turtles movie was great, but like they did so much more with that comic series. Like I wish they would do another movie so we could see the Turtles as the different Robins.
sure. I mean, yeah.
I think
it
I
would
think
be
we're
fun.
gonna get that one just because like I feel like they're gonna do more of those.
I don't know.
Like,
I
I mean-
think if they were going to do a sequel, they would have done it by now. The first movies. I mean, I agree. I want a sequel to that movie for sure. But
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
know.
we're gonna get a Ronin animated, and then I feel like we're gonna do more movies based off of some of the other stories. Wishful thinking, anyway.
yeah, I mean,
Using Ronin as a turtle renaissance.
Yeah.
Bring everything back.
Yeah.
Probably right.
I'm for it. I hope you're right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no man, let it be Turtles time. Let's have it. You know,
Wait,
Absolutely.
you're making it
We
sound
are
like it's
coming up on
never
the
been
anniversary,
Turtles
so.
time.
no, but let
These
let some
independent
good-
characters that haven't seen sunlight rise up to the top finally. Come on.
No, I just mean I'd love to see the Turtle stuff eclipse the Marvel stuff and the DC stuff. Like have I'd like to actually see a gritty like a proper live action Turtles done again. That wasn't Michael Bay's. That wasn't something that I don't know.
The trouble is, I don't think it'll ever be as good as the first movie again.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Because Kevin and Peter had direct input on that movie, and it had to be a certain way. And that
Mhm.
first movie is such a perfect blend of the first issue of the comic and the Raphael 1 micro series.
Right.
I mean, and honestly, like I wouldn't want them to get that big because at that point too, we're gonna get over inundated with Turtles shit, and it's just gonna be
Oh, we're
the
not
milquetoast
now.
stuff. Well, no, I mean we're not getting what we want. We're not getting like movies and show,
Right, yeah.
that expand more than just the kids' cartoon. Like, so say they do the last Ronin movie and it's a fucking hit. It just crushes the box office. They're going to milk that until there's nothing we want to see anymore. I don't want it to become Star Wars.
Yeah,
Right.
no, that's fair.
I mean, like the Marvel stuff aside, I was never a big Marvel fan. I'm a DC guy, and I've always been disappointed by most DC things anyway, so I don't have the heartburn on it. But the Star Wars stuff kills me because.
Wait, didn't you write for DC at one point?
Oh yeah. And as I said, I love DC, and I've always loved the characters of DC. But Star Wars, like I grew up on Star Wars, huge fan, had all the toys. I mean, just it was it, all it was.
Yeah.
And when they came back with it, I'm like, ugh, this is so bad. And now we're at the point where it's just like every time you turn around, there's a new Star Wars out, but it might as well be
Yeah.
written by AI. It's just so bland.
Yeah.
Right.
It's paint by numbers.
I'll tell you, for the classic Star Wars fans out there, my favorite extra Star Wars material, more so than like I think my favorite, the original trilogy is my favorite. Will always be kind of my favorite Star Wars stuff at the end of the day. But in terms of auxiliary material, Fearless Fred Kennedy, the guy who did the Dead Romans comic with Nick Marinkovich that we were talking about last week.
I've been meaning to read that.
It's fantastic. Fred's one of my favorite people, and shit.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's amazing. Anyway, he did during the pandemic, he did a podcast called Mud 79. And it was his own Star Wars fan fiction that he had a really decent budget for sound editing, special effects, an amazing voice cast. Some of the people that are in the local Toronto comic scene and some of the local voice actors. It's called Mud 79. It's the perspective of a Imperial infantryman, not a stormtrooper, just a regular grunt soldier on some godforsaken muddy planet where they are just an Imperial outpost where he ends up being witness to all kinds of big machinations around the whole empire and everything. I listened to it the first season or two that he did of it during the pandemic, and each episode was anywhere from a half hour to an hour kind of thing, and they are fucking awesome. They are so good. And anyway, they're coming back with more.
It's all original content?
It's all original content. It was never approved. He never got paid for it. He even says that disclaimer in every episode. He basically, he's not hurting anybody. It's just his own fan fiction, but it's done with such care and with such reverence to the original Star Wars material that you really, I don't know, man. It takes me away. I'm not big on the fictional podcast. I'm more of a documentary podcast kind of guy, but this is one that I listen to as a nice escape. And anyway, it's my favorite Star Wars thing since the original trilogy. So it's called Mud 79. It's a podcast. You check it out.
Has it been given a lot of I've been seeing a lot more posts about Splinter of the Mind's Eye lately. The original sequel that Zahn wrote before Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think
Zahn stuff.
I mean, if they were to actually use anything from that Timothy Zahn wrote from that original run that he did.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
So
good.
I mean, we wouldn't have Thrawn if it wasn't for him, and Thrawn is coming. But I love the fact that somebody fan cast Mads Mikkelsen, and now they actually went and got him.
Oh really?
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's great. Wow, yeah. I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
So what's up?
So how are they gonna see that? I have issues with that because, I think he's great for the casting, but they already use him in Star Wars universe. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they use enough makeup to make him look different. I mean,
he's a different. I mean, it's an actor playing different characters, but it's one of those things. Why? I hate when they waste a character like that. Their character actor, because Rogue One, he played, forget the character's name, but he was a scientist who.
Krennic.
What was it?
Yeah. Was it? No, that wasn't Krennic. He played. I can't remember. I haven't seen Rogue One in a little bit. Speaking of Rogue One, they're doing an Andor season 2.
Which they should, because that is the best Star Wars thing they've done since Disney's taken over.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So I haven't seen it.
I haven't watched
Andor is great.
It's a little like there's flaws. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I bitched and moaned the first two episodes because I realized why they had to release the first 3 episodes all at once because
it was slow.
It had so much pointless filler in it because they had to make it 10 episodes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it was we don't have enough time for me to go into it, but man, it's just bad. Like they come up with such a bullshit language because like you could feel the fucking hubris coming out of the writer's room and then patting their own self on the back like, oh, we're doing something awesome. And it's like you're just garbage from the fucking setup to the actual shooting and editing. The first 2 episodes, anything that doesn't have Diego in it is just absolute shit. And but they're trying to do this whole setup of his backstory, which has no play or effect in the rest of the story.
Yeah, there's no bearing on the rest of the story. It's but they're just
they come up with this bullshit language for all the people to talk, and to the point of like they had nobody with any linguistic skills in the writer's room or on set. And as somebody who was a linguistic, this is how I know it. Of all the bullshit babble they say on screen, no word is ever repeated. So it means that there's no there's no and, there's no conjunctions, there's no articles. So they're just just like, oh, fuck off. And it's just
I mean, at least he wrote his own version of Elvin. I mean, my God.
Yeah, something. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, are they all going to come out speaking Rhodian like McClunky?
Well, I'm just saying, do what George Lucas did. Take a language that's not known throughout the fucking globe, and and phonetically change it a bit. But now you have a base of a real language. So now when people talk to each other, you can read body language and know what they're saying because it's a bullshit language that they have no subtitles for. So you're supposed to be able to understand what's happening in the scene by watching the actors, but the actors weren't given any real direction. So you've got Andor as a kid being fucking shunned by all the other kids of this tribe, which apparently the kids run the tribe. We don't know. Can't figure out the fucking structure. And we have no idea why the kids run this and why they're shunning him. And then they go and all of a sudden this fucking ship crashes on the planet and the kids go to snoop it out to figure out why. And they've got these weapons, and the one that's supposed to be the leader of the kids is walking down the fucking trench that the ship made. Like the only point that would be a ambush point, the big trench that the ship made when it landed, not up on the ridge. No, we're going to the base of the valley. All the other kids are up on the ridge. She's walking down, holding this weapon over her shoulder like it's a goddamn spear. Turns out those weapons are blow darts. What the fuck is she going to do with a blow dart over her shoulder? What I'm saying, this is a bad opening to a show. After that, though, the show takes off and, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good is what I'm saying.
Randy said, I want a Camillo, Vance, and Rooth jam. Let's make it happen, fellas.
Ooh, yeah. On what? On one of the blanks, or maybe on like a 11x17. You set the rules, Randy. I'll play.
Yeah, I'm down.
I said to Randy, I feel like you're one of the few people that could like facilitate that whenever he really wanted.
Like a big Green Lantern jam or something.
We all, yeah, agree. I don't know. Randy's got this collection going. Like he's got Donnie as a lantern, and he's got Raph as Plastic Man that Steve Levine did.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun. Right on.
I think Stefan would be envious if he saw Randy's. It's a guest room that
I've seen. Yeah, he's shared me photos of it, and
yeah,
I told him I'm not jealous, and then I ran out of the room crying.
Oh, that's right. I showed you the photos. That's right.
Guest room.
Yeah. And then he sent them because after I showed the picture you showed me, he sent me a bunch more. I'm like, yeah, no, that's cool.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm not jealous at all.
Randy's got slabs and figures everywhere, but
yeah,
he's the only person I've ever seen that collects hutches, like the pieces of furniture.
Oh yeah, I used to have that for all that.
5 hutches in his house. I'm like, I didn't believe you when you said that.
Just for figures, baby. All right, well, it is actually after 10 o'clock, guys.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That kind of flew by.
Yeah, fun night. Well, again,
absolutely.
Everything's looking great, though.
Yeah. Sure. Thanks, everybody, for showing up both sides of the camera here. Rob, thanks for jumping in to co-host tonight. It really
no problem.
makes it so much easier for me. I will say that. Yeah, so like always, we'll give everybody tomorrow to finish the art, and we will start the auction on Monday. Hopefully, we'll keep that trend going of a 2-week streak, and we will catch everybody next Saturday for what we say it was the He-Man Universe.
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe again. Yeah. I will have my Orko sound bites ready to go.
I love it.
All right, everybody, have a great night, and we will see you next Saturday.
Take it
Have a
easy,
good
guys.
night.
Be good, you guys.
Have a good night, guys.